What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below. And as we get rolling here tonight, guys, we have an extra special Cowboy preview Saturday live stream as we kind of take a peek, of course, at the upcoming matchup, T-minus 24 hours, actually less than that now, before we see our Dallas Cowboys face off against the Arizona Cardinals. Although things are a little bit more precarious than we initially thought. Of course, the expectation is we're going to crush them, but we do have, of course, some news, some updates, a few things to touch on, and also a very special guest joining us here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, and in sense of, we're going to have a special guest, and you can see by the title. There's another special guest we're going to have at the end of the stream, which you guys already probably heard. If you listen to our standalone, live stream that we had, a premiere video we had earlier about this breakdown, this preview, which will be at the end of this show when it comes to my brother, Dr. G. He breaks it down, but we got another special guest here on this Saturday edition, one of the Over Everything members here that gets to try out our newest level of membership here. We'll discuss it in a minute, but before we get to that, baby, let's talk about this. The people that run the show here, starting with the sponsor of the week.
Big mahalo to the man, MyCowboysFamily, representing it there as, yes, the sponsor of the week. And, of course, have to shout out the gifted membership king,
the Don.
Ron the Don Smith. Thank you so much, Ron. Appreciate you. And you look up above. You know who's bossing that stream around. You know who's got the crown and the Cash App. The man, Snug X.
Yes,
much love to him with some O-line representation there, too.
Biotish.
Oh, boy.
Topic of discussion tonight, but Mr. Snug X has 6 weeks in a row. He's looking for that 7 in a row right now in a battle with Brandon James Shea for that top spot. But he is in the lead right now, trying to go for that Trayvon Diggs 7 in a row. And, he's also got the tie right now. Actually, not the tie. He's actually got the lead. When I really did the numbers, him and MyCowboysFamily are locked in head-to-head, tied at the same amount of points right now. But because Snug X is dropping it in the Cash App, that's a tiebreaker. So technically, Snug X, even though tie with MyCowboysFamily, is in first place currently on the overall board, trying to stop the MyCowboysFamily. He's already back-to-back MyCowboysFamily, trying to go for that three-peat. We'll see what happens. A couple days to go here, and of course, a big game right around the corner. And don't forget, guys, when it comes to the gifting membership side of things, we had an earlier drop on our video from Skeptical Fan gifting a membership. Much love to him. And now he's in a tie with Jason Renfro for the first place spot. There's a tie, guys. It's 3-3. Battle of field goals between Skeptical Fan and Jason Renfro. Try to see who gets that gifting championship from Ron the Don Smith. There is Brandon James Shea though. He's got 1 point. So yeah, he's got a chance as well. So hey, much love to everybody in the house, and extra special love to those in that star level membership.
It comes with its own perks, like the nightly shout-outs.
And also the Over Everything as well is also included in here. But tonight you'll see the Over Everything perk in live and full effect. But let's give the shout-outs as deserved.
To Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Dwayne Broussard, the Top Dog, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potched, Ron the Don Smith. We have Marissa Sparkle, The Lunatic, and of course, Snug X.
Over Everything, you know it.
Woo.
So I hope the audio's okay. I hope it's not messed up there. But let them know how.
Yeah, everyone sounds good.
Good. I just want to make sure everybody knows, of course, dropping the love through the super chats, gifting memberships, jumping in the membership, the thanks button. But there's 4 other ways you can drop love in the Cash App side, the Cash App crown side of things. Let them know, baby.
Of course, you have the money sign, MyCowboysFamily, Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and the Streamlabs link, which lets your comments show up on screen just like a super chat.
Yes. And again, as you can see, Snug X gearing up to hang with us in the Over Everything level. I mean, he's leading across the board right now, on most of the boards here. But Snug X will be appearing on our show. Again, we do this once a month with everybody in the Over Everything level. So right now for this month, this is Snug X trip up to the big stage. And, here to talk some Cowboy football and his own thoughts. I'm sure we're going to hear from the man Snug X here coming around the corner very soon. So it's an interview-packed, special guest kind of Saturday night. Sit back, relax, guys, and let's prepare for this preview and this, just kind of rearing up to get to this Arizona Cardinal game, and hopefully getting through some really dark days here with Trayvon Diggs, offensive line issues. We're going to talk about it here and more. So, baby, as we're done with this side of things, let me also drop you over to the. Oh, and by the way, I almost forgot the star level membership. It's another perk for the star level and the over everything is the Sewn and Stitch jersey. Yes, one lucky winner every month from those levels, over everything and star. Get a chance to win one of these authentic like Sewn and Stitch jerseys. Cowboy Mosh.
Right around the corner, guys.
Yeah, in October. So get in there if you want to try to get in this raffle. Much love to everybody who's done it. I think Jason was the last big winner here as we kicked it off just recently. Much love to the star level and over everything level, representing that star over everything.
Woo.
Hell yeah.
And now let me go ahead, shout out the people here chilling, hanging with us, and then I think the phone might start ringing. We'll have to see, but thank you so much to Stubby1085 in the house, Cab52, much love to you. Skeptical fan, no, you arrived right on time. You're good.
Kickoff here.
Jared Morrison, what's up, much love. El Fuego 2.0, Bo Smith representing. We have Stoned Immaculate 2 in the house, Jason Renfro, of course, much love to him. So glad you finally have your internet back, right?
Yes.
The Lunatic, Puro Pinche Cowboys,
Oh,
always.
Cowboys.
Let me see, we have El Cool in the house, Chuck Pridgeon, hello and hi. Let me see. Retro Scotty representing. Hope you're feeling better, by the way. Kicking some COVID ass, right? Eric Wallace, hello and hi. Scorpio representing. Indian Boogie, yes, always. Much love to Trayvon right now, especially. Yep. James Macias, what's up? Kind of rolling back. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. James Payne, what's up? Hey, Freedom First. Good for you. Oh, well, good
First
for you.
again?
Yes. I don't know. Now I feel like I expect it, right? I'm looking for it. Anyway, with that said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hand things off to Mr. MCF. Let him, touch base on a few things here while we see, if maybe someone's calling behind the scenes, right?
Again, guys, just so you know, our guy here, Mr. Snug X, front and center, literally, here on MyCowboy. He's part of the show tonight, man. He is going to be hanging for the... Pretty much, other than the interview with my brother, he's going to be here for the whole show. My brother interview is a recorded interview. Keep that in mind, so you'll hear the replay of that at the end of the show in case you missed it earlier. But Snug X will be here with us live for as long as we're talking Cowboys with you guys. So, again, much love to Snug X. Currently, he is repping pretty much all the top spots on the board, whether it's the Cash App, whether it's the the Cash App or the overall board. The man's running things right now. So much love to Snug X and the Stream Boss. Don't forget about that. I think he's calling. So let me try to get that on right now, guys.
I thought you already had it.
No, I didn't have it because it would have been ringing. So I'm sorry about that.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I know. It's all good. So give us a second here, guys. Of course, the fun of live streams, right? Yep. So with that said, yes. Obviously, our team situation has changed a little bit since the last time we spoke here, guys. Didn't it? I
want to hear.
I feel like Cat 52 and I were on the right wavelength here the other day when we were talking about the Trayvon injury, saying, the Trayvon injury sucks. No one's happy about this. It hurts so much. But I'm a little more concerned about another banged up position right now.
Offensive line.
Yeah, so we had some really... Oh.
And baby.
Do I hear the phone ringing?
It's Mr. Snug X.
Call from
Snug.
Yeah.
To accept, press 1.
You know we are. What's up, Mr. Snug X in the house? Live in full effect with the family.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Snug?
Snug got you front and center, man. Welcome, Mr. Over Everything Level, Mr. Leaderboard right now and all across the boards, and a true family member here with the family talking about everything. But, repping that navy blue, silver, and star over everything. Much love to Snug X. Welcome to the show, man. How are you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. First off, I wanted to jump in the chat and say, shout out to the chat. It's always about y'all. The show, none of these Cowboy shows would go without the chat. So always, first things first to the chat, man. Y'all make it go. Secondly, I wish this would have happened yesterday because I was turned up yesterday because I was mad about that people get mad at Bart Scott and whatnot. So I was really turned up about that because I'm like, MCW, if I'm at work, right, and I see someone I don't like, and that person trips and, twists their ankle, right, and I laugh at that person, would I be in trouble at work?
Depends on how much of. I mean, honestly, depends on how much of an asshole your boss is. Like that. That's just reality. But I guess it depends on the initial like thought process. Like it's one thing if you laugh at a coworker like snapping their leg into 17 pieces and it's clearly like a horrific injury. It's another thing where like, oh, you thought they tripped and they got a little banged up. Like Bart Scott knew how bad the Trayvon injury was, and like I said, his comment itself maybe necessarily wouldn't have been as out of pocket, even though I think it wasn't a great look. It was that smirk on his face, that little shit-eating, I got you, like that bothered me. I'm sorry, that looked like
we're getting at people for smirking now? We're getting at people for smirking?
Now, I will say, Mr. MCF was the one over here who was saying that he should have lost his job. I said, I don't even know about that one, but I don't know if I'd let it slide. I don't know if he should lose his job, but I mean, even if I say dumb shit at work, my boss is absolutely going to pull me to the side and say, don't say dumb shit at work. No. So at least on that side of things, someone should be talking to him and saying, look, if you're going to say that, control your face.
Oh, you mean a smirk?
Nah, I totally disagree. This man told a bad joke at work. Now, and one thing, he was set up. If you didn't know, that was the most set up thing ever. Like, if you didn't see Ryan Clark and just Stephen A. Smith just waiting on this motherfucker to say something dumb, like, they were just waiting on it. They knew he was going to say something dumb, and they let him say it, and then they all, oh, no, we can't do that. Man, come on. I personally, I think that if Cowboy fans are going to be able to dish it out, they got to be able to take it. You know what I'm saying? And right there, I feel like a lot of overreactionary things happen. I think we overreacted on that. And really, I say that to say this about the Cowboy fans. I want to say, because I'm a Cowboy fan myself, MCF, we know Eagles are 32 out of 32 on fans. Like, Eagles are the worst of fans.
I agree.
Where do you rank Cowboy fans?
I mean, that's hard because I'm biased, but we have a lot of people that are not the best fans either.
The way I see it, the good ones are the best fans, hands down, no argument, no question. But the rule of numbers dictates, because we are the largest fan base, that means we also have the biggest number of idiots, unfortunately. And man, they let their thoughts be known, and some of these are employed, some of these have jobs, getting to say their stupid shit too. So you know, we're catching punches left, right, and center sometimes, I feel like, here in Cowboylandia.
And I was going to say one other thing about a comment that Snug X made about this whole situation when it comes. I was trying
Bart Scott thing.
Yeah, I was just trying to say. I was trying to get the right wording here. I had it for a second, but it was more like when Stephen A. Smith. We know Ryan Clark is a Cowboy kind of fan guy. There, he thinks we're gonna not only go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. That's his prediction. That's regardless of the case. When both him, who former player, and Stephen A. Smith, who's a Cowboy hater, would have loved to make jokes and stuff like that. When they reprimand him live on camera, to me, that's where you can see that. That to me perked me up a little bit more than just like a silly comment. It was more like a silly comment, and then people were immediately offended by that. And I realized, well, you know, I don't know if I'm offended, but I know the guy is definitely, that's a Bush League.
It felt like
Bush League kind of thing to say.
It felt like he was celebrating the injury.
I don't think it was a reprimand as much as I think it was them throwing him under the bus for some shit they would have said, but they were like, they didn't want to say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, you know, after Bart Scott said that, you know who was really smirking? Stephen A. Smith. That man was still, he wanted to, I bet you he wanted to high five that motherfucker so bad, bro.
And ESPN too, because they're getting some controversial, ratings and clicks and views. They love it.
True. Now on to the, I guess, Arizona game. I don't know how much y'all want to talk about it, how far I can go beyond the bounds of football, but I say they've got some good guys. They've got Xavier Collins. They got some sneaky receivers that are sneaky good, and I think this game is more or less us seeing if it's the same old Cowboys, because it's like, we always do this every season.
Yep.
We get 2 games and we knock them down. And I always remember MCW's voice in my head saying this. She'd say, we always play down to our competition. And I just hear that ringing in my head like all the time, like during games that like look like trap games. Like, I feel like this is the test to see if like that part of our life is like gone. Like that part of the Jason Garrett era is gone. That kind of like you beat the teams like no one thinks you can beat, and then the ones that people think you can beat, you like lose to, like that whole thing. So like that for me is what this game is really all about, is really seeing if that is like that part is like,
I hear you.
Dead of our history.
I've worried about that for a long time, and we've always had these letdowns for 20 plus years.
Which is why, again, some of the news coming out today, if you're cool, Snug, we're going to start touching on some of it. And then, obviously, we'll come back and get your thoughts, because I know you didn't get to talk about the Trayvon thing, but I want to touch on a few things first before we kind of dive back into the injuries on our team. And I do want to know what you think about it, because, like I said, when I voted in the poll the other day in the Trayvon thing, I said, I trust Quinn. I still have a few concerns, and I don't think my mindset has really changed from that. So, like I said, we have some other things to touch on. So, Snug, buckle up. Give us a few minutes. We'll touch on a few things. Check back in with you, man. Sounds good?
We're going to bring you in.
Because we want to hear your thoughts on
every
this stuff.
A lot of topics. You can jump in at the, if we're at a topic and you want to put your 2 cents in, just let us know.
I'm a guinea pig right now. I don't know what we're doing and how we're doing it, but we're rolling. So
You're the first. You're the first to do this, man. You're breaking new ground here on MCF. So much love the legendary Snug X.
You're our guinea pig too, I guess.
We both are here, but it's gonna work. I trust it'll work. So hey, listen. Let's start off with NFL or just general news as we always do. I gotta say congratulations. There was a woman football player, baby.
Yeah.
Her name was Haley Van Voorhees, like Jason Voorhees, became the first female non-kicker to a non-kicker. There's some female kickers in college games, but the first time non-kicker, a woman appearing as a non-kicker in a college football game. Now, I think it was Division
D3.
D3.
If I'm not mistaken.
She plays safety I think on a play. At least she had one play, and she put the pressure on the quarterback right away, took the quarterback down. Actually, it was incompletion. So just a crucial third down play. She made her mark there. Congrats to her. I thought it was always interesting to start with something different right here in MCF. But now let's get to the NFL news, where you got Joe Burrow real quick. He's expected to be out of the Rams game.
Oof.
That's a big one there. Monday Night Football. So, and remember, they had no Will Grier. He was poached off of their practice squad. He was the backup Will Grier for this Bengals.
I would almost think it was intentional.
Well, Belichick has him for next week against us. But right now, Joe Burrow, not there. Who's the quarterback? No one. They had to actually, again, if that's the expectation, he's going to be out. I mean, I'd say he's out 100%. But if he is 100%, if he is going to be out of that Monday night game, the Bengals, obviously can start the season 0-3. And obviously their chances are big time hurt. They did sign a quarterback, McCarron, I think it was. They signed to kind of be the emergency quarterback now. And
Mike
they may need
just
him.
said it. AJ McCarron.
Yeah, so he's now part of the Bengals team right off the. I mean, a quarterback. Imagine that. Dobbs for the Cardinals was brought in 5 days before the season started for the Cardinals. He had a very basic game the first game, second game a little more expanded role. But the point is, imagine how hard it is for a quarterback just to get thrown into that. This guy's getting thrown into it faster. It really, literally.
He's got like T-minus 24 hours to figure that shit out.
Yeah, it's crazy. So hey, good luck to the Bengals Monday night. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, on Monday night after the game. Now, the Browns, running back, Nick Chubb. He tore up that knee. It was a horrible injury if you guys have seen it, but it looks like it's good news. It looks like he's only having a torn MCL instead of multiple ligaments torn. Pre-surgery right now, projected recovery time, 6 to 8 months. I know, still a lot, but it was going to be a lot longer.
Yeah, like from what we initially thought it was going to be, that is much better. So glad for him.
Yeah,
never want to see a guy beat up or hurt.
Yeah, much more optimistic on his prognosis now. And again, the torn MCL, yes, and there is damage on the ACL, but it's not fully torn. It'll probably need to be at least repaired. And no matter what, he feels like this thing is a full recovery situation. He should be good to go. And like I said, 6 to 8 months. And again, if he doesn't need any ACL repair at all, which is very possible, there's a realistic chance that he can be ready for 2024 at the start of the season. So, again, good news compared to what it could have been. This is fantastic news for Nick Chubb. Wishing the best of luck to him. No injuries here, of course, we ever want to see. Hey, Mr. A. Lavelle, the silver level Don, really the overall membership Don, the longest stretch of anybody here, dropping that Tony Pollard.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lavelle. He said, what's up, MCF and MCW? What's good, everybody in the chat? Hope everyone is safe and healthy.
I hope his family is going well, too.
Everyone, keep your heads up. Don't let idiots like Bart Scott, Stephen A. Smith, and injuries create doubt. Trust the coaches and players, and let's go Cowboys.
I fully agree. And I think it's just a sideshow kind of thing. We have to adjust for that. We know it's all for the clicks and the views and all that stuff. And even if Stephen A. and what's his name?
Bart Scott.
Not Bart Scott, but Stephen A. Who's it? Ryan Clark. Right. Even if they both found it offensive, it was genuine. I think it wasn't like a setup. The point is that the network gets ratings. Stephen A. Smith and go ahead, hit it if you need to speak there, Snug.
Oh no! I just wanted to let everybody know that was an obvious setup. Anybody who's ever seen a setup before, they set Bart Scott up. They were so quiet when he was saying what he was about to say. Bro, that's a like. I'm sorry to agree with you there, MCF, but I'm gonna let you say what you got to say.
Make sure I fix this. Is it a setup in what way? Is my question. Like, is it a setup that they were like they were all in on it together?
No, it's a setup, and they knew that he was about to say some dumb shit. Yeah. And instead of being like, "Hey, you probably shouldn't say that dumb shit,"
they let him say it.
They were like, I can't stop you from saying what you're gonna say. So, and then when he says it, oh my God, we just can't do that, and we're just too good for that. We're just not those type of people. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
It could be. It could be.
That's how I feel about it.
It could be, but again, I hear you. But again, I agree with Lavelle, though. In the end, it's just sideshow shit, right? You shouldn't worry that much about it in the overall picture and scheme of things.
It is dumb shit, though.
I will say one thing, though. What it did do is even unify the defensive secondary even more, because they all came together, and so did Micah, and they came together fighting back, swinging back. And again, even though it's a general swinging back thing, it does tighten them. It's them against the world, and that's what I like. That's the good part of that. This situation with dumbass Bart Scott. Much love to Jason Renfro.
Ooh, Jason.
Breaking the tie. He's got 2 safeties now. 4-3 over Skeptical Fan in the battle in the gifted membership side of things. And who got that? Dirty South MVP. Texas edition.
Woo.
Welcome to the family here, Navy
Thank
Blue
you,
Crew.
Jason. Congrats, Dirty Scott.
Yeah, drop them if you got them. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, touch up on Snug X if you want.
I mean, and I guess,
chat.
I guess the other side of things, like, right, fuck Stephen A., fuck Bart Scott, right? How do you feel about the Cowboys' reaction to his comments? Like, are you a fan or were you not a fan? Like, forget the Cowboy fans, the team, the players who came out.
I like I love the unification. I want to know what Snug thinks.
I'm definitely a fan of that.
Yeah, Snug.
Oh, boy. Yo, I want to say, look, these guys, you have to realize that these guys are like our nieces and nephews. These guys are 20, 23, 24. I wish they would have just not addressed it, really. Like, I wish they would have let them talk and then just not even let it, like, bother their mental. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they are...
Like, we're around the same age, Snug, right?
No, I'm 35.
Okay, yeah, that's a little older, close enough. So, I'm just going to throw this out there. I made some dumbass choices between the ages of 20 to 24. Like, absolutely spectacularly dumb. And that was just, like, normal dumb. What kind of choices do you think these young men are going to be making when their brains are not fully developed? Everyone and their mom is telling them they're hot shit. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like,
they make dumb decisions.
Yes.
I'm not faulting them for making the mistake of doing it. I'm just saying I wish they wouldn't have done it because really, look, they sounded hella sensitive. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get hate for it.
That's their guy. But you know what?
Sensitive, bro.
But they were that's
you don't
the
like
point,
the
though.
unification?
They
I
were
like that.
bothered. They were bothered that someone
they just
seemed
lost
to be
one of
out there celebrating an injury.
They lost one of their biggest players in the team, and this is one of their brothers there on the field. I'm just saying, like this is a family thing, you know. If they, of course, they're going to take offense. So more than us, they should take more offense to it.
Yo, okay, let's keep it a buck. This guy did not get Ryan Shazier. Okay?
All right, you're right. He just got an ACL tear.
His foot will heal. He's not going to. Y'all act like Bart Scott went in there and Nancy Kerrigan and like, you know what I'm saying? Like himself, like he went in there with a stick himself and hit him in the.
You know what I think? I think the Cowboy fans, honestly, maybe me included in this, we're taking it out on him even more because he said a dumb shit because we can't blame anybody else, so we got to take it out on him. I think that's what it really comes down to. What do you think?
It's like
okay, go ahead.
No, it's just to say, like, it's almost like Bart Scott said, "Oh yeah, your mom."
It does kind of feel like
right?
that, yeah.
And we responded to your mom for real. That's what we.
No, I hear you. I agree. It goes both ways. He's an idiot, and everybody else falling into it.
Say that one more time.
I said like Bart Scott's an idiot, and the people falling into it, get caught up in it because everyone's blaming. They got to blame somebody, right? There's no one to blame. It's just bad luck. So the fans are getting, myself included, we just get piling on even harder on him. Which, whether he deserves it or not, it's irrelevant. It's
like
really
we needed
important.
Something to be angry at, right?
So and I don't think it's right. I'm just saying that's what we responded to when they said your mother. That escalates quick sometimes when it's sensitive.
Like I said, I'm rolling with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm rolling with my side. I just wish that if we're going off the base question of how do you feel about how they responded, I wish they would have responded by not responding. I hear you. And
hey, we're here to hear what you think,
like it.
not to have you just say, "Oh yeah, I agree with you, MCF." That's the point.
If you have a different viewpoint, man, bring it. Not war in here. This is a great discussion. I like to hear another viewpoint because you're making some good points.
Yeah, I'm the only one allowed to punch MCF in the face.
Exactly.
And remember, chat. This is only 2 trips to McDonald's nowadays. Like $50. Like, I mean, you can afford it. Like, think about it. Like, really.
The real pro tip is you got to use the McDonald's app.
Yeah.
If you want to pay 2005 prices again, yeah.
That's great. The app is great.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, go ahead.
And some of the football stuff. We got through the kind of NFL news, NFL Cowboy adjacent shit.
Now comes the real-ish.
Oh, man.
Now comes the unfortunate stuff. But let's start with this Trayvon Diggs situation real quick and just kind of just clear up some things.
Touching on it.
We have to touch on this one last time, and that is, of course, out for the season. But more again, today was the actual move. We moved him off the 53-man roster and onto the injured reserve list, which means there's 52 spots open on our team. 1 spot open, right? I'm sorry, 52 spots taken and 1 spot open on the team.
I'm like, where'd everybody go?
So we ended up releasing C.J. Goodwin from the practice squad and then signing him immediately to the 53-man active roster. He is now a full-time Dallas Cowboy for the rest of the season. So good news for him, and something we knew was going to happen. It always happens with, I said this last night, it was going to be C.J. Goodwin. Cowboys always put him on that practice squad for a week or 2 or 3 until one injury happens, whoever it is, big or small, and he goes in there and takes over that spot. It always happens that way. And, we were talking about Brock Hoffman. Would he be the guy? Maybe the center be elevated? That would show me, hey, maybe Biotish not playing, right? Yeah, that's the thing. And we know Trayvon Diggs is out, right? So his story is over for now. But after that move of putting C.J. Goodwin on the 53-man roster, we have an option to elevate 2 players from the practice squad, and we did that today. And the concern comes up to being around this guy here, number 63, Tyler Biotish. And again, here's the reason why. The Cowboys ended up elevating 2 players, 2 offensive linemen, 2 interior offensive linemen, 2 centers. 2 centers, not 1, but 2 centers.
Now, I don't know about you, but I think 2 + 2 = 4.
It does, but that's not a good thing here for us because by these 2 centers being elevated, now, Brock Hoffman has 2 elevations, so he has 1 more before he has to get officially cut. And Sean Harlow is the other elevation, the former Giant player that we picked up after they cut him on cut day. We put him on a practice squad after the waivers went through. So basically, we just put in there 2 interior offensive linemen being called up And, of course, we know the last thing we heard was that Tyler Biadasz and Zach Martin, both these guys, questionable to play. Now, the news was today, they were on Saturday today, they were going to do their walkthrough. It's going to be a little, I guess it was going to be a little, maybe a run through. I don't know, but it was going to be a walkthrough today. If they can handle today's walkthrough, they'll be on that plane and they have a chance to play. That was the deal there for both Zach Martin and Tyler Biadasz. But with two centers being elevated, that put some worry in me about Biadasz's status. So when you add two centers to the active roster for this game, to me, it's a very strong. I mean, everybody knows it's automatically or likely what's going on with the center position. So that means to me, it's a big indication to me that Tyler Biadasz.
Elevate two centers, and all of a sudden your left tackle is out.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, it's like we're definitely in a situation where Biadasz, I don't expect him to play tomorrow. If we were doing the simulations like we did, he'd be on the bench for our simulation. So I don't expect Biadasz to now play in this game, which is an unfortunate thing. We thought we had all five guys there. Finally, with Tyler Smith coming back. Now we're down one guy at least in the starting lineup and still questionable for Zach Martin, which who knows? That could be something as well. Now, according to a lot of sources, they're saying it feels like a game time decision and they're just getting insurance in case he's ruled out. When a team does this, usually it means it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, look, I will say Brock Hoffman and Sean Harlow, they both can play guard as well. So that takes me over to Zach Martin and saying, you know what? Zach Martin, I hope he is good to go for this game. He's a guy we definitely need in this game because, again, we could run all backups. So then it's not about getting beat or not by the offensive lineman. To me, it's more now, how will Dak get through a game if one guy gets a shot on him? Just one play is all it takes. Will Dak be injured because we're missing now the interior of our offensive line here on the right side? So that's something to watch. Then, I ain't done yet, guys.
But wait, there's more.
And I wish I had his... I guess I will have it here. Again, let me say this. Chuma Edoga's back in the mix, okay, guys? And he will be there. So at the very worst case, he can play that right guard spot for Zach Martin. Now we got Brock Hoffman on one.
Record scratch, what?
Yeah, I know. He was on the left side of the left guard when he was in there filling in for Tyler Smith. So now we got the situation where the interior is like a question mark outside of the guy who's been missing. Who's missing the last 2 weeks? Tyler Smith will be playing. It's all systems go for Tyler Smith. That's, of course, great news there. And then I got to talk about another situation, unfortunately, that involves this entire offensive line. You can see it right there. Sorry, maybe I have to cover you up. But
it's all right. But we remember, Zach Martin, right? When we finished that Jets game, he looked like he was hurting a little bit. We were worried it was his groin. Turns out it was actually his knee, and he said so after the game. But he's like, no, I could have finished the game if I really had to.
He said I could have played. And this week he's been saying,
good.
This week he said he could play, right? So I'm hoping he can play.
And he's been all right in practice, too.
He's been rehabbing. I'm still worried about him playing. I have this bad feeling that it could still be a little more dangerous. Maybe the Cowboys are leading on to. But you're seeing 3 tackles here. Tyler Smith back in the mix. Terrence Steele off that ACL, MCL tear from last year. He's going to be the right tackle. So we're good. Those are our 2 starters. Those are all probably right now, guys. That's all I can say. 100% are going to play tomorrow. Because the other tackle over there, left tackle number 77, Tyron Smith, I keep saying that, came away from today's walkthrough with an injury. Can you fucking believe this shit? So the Cowboys added.
Explain it to me with little words, baby. How someone gets hurt in a fucking walk.
I mean, I don't know.
Did he walk too hard?
The Cowboys added left tackle Tyron Smith. He had a knee injury to the injury report. He is now questionable for the game against the Cardinals. He added to the injury list of the I guess I don't know what you call that little attachment to the name. I'm going brain dead here. No. Just the designation, game designation. I'm sorry.
I wasn't sure what you meant there. Sorry.
So now the Cowboys have 3 of the 5 starting offensive linemen. We were hoping they would get all 5 back. 3 out of the 5 now are questionable to play tomorrow against the Cardinals. Tyron Smith with the knee at the left tackle spot, the center, Tyler Biadasz with the hamstring, and right guard Zach Martin with the ankle rolled from the game against the Jets. At least one of those 3, though, are expected to start. I'll go back to that in a minute, and I'll give you one little piece of news. I guess it's pretty decent news, but we'll go baby steps on this. Mr. A. Lavelle once again dropping that Cooper Rush bomb. A $10 holler, baby, and he's moving up this board, believe it or not. He's right around that the top 3 spots, I think. What did Mr. A. Lavelle have to say?
Much love, Snug X. This is and won't be the last time Bart Scott says something stupid. Dude is only known for his can't wait speech. use his ignorance as fuel and do what Bart Scott can't do and be great. So now, at least on my side, I didn't know who he was beforehand. I still don't know who he is, and I'm going to continue to not know who he is. You know who I do know? Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons, every single player on this fucking Dallas Cowboy roster. Past, present, and future at this point. Yeah. So, Bart Scott, continue on in your mediocrity.
He addressed Snug here.
So, but yeah, Snug, what do you have to say to Mr. Lavelle?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, shout out A. Lavelle, man. Hey, hold me down. That's what I'm talking about. What was I going to say? About the...
Well, he's saying that Bart Scott. What do you say about Bart Scott?
Yeah, they basically used Bart Scott's bullshit to kind of fuel us and power us ahead because he's only known for his can't wait speech. Yeah. So
he's
corny.
Go
do what he can't do.
He's
and
corny,
be good.
and as Micah said, he's lame. But go ahead, let's hear your stuff.
I mean, like he said, a corny thing. Like, I mean, you could be corny one day and you could be fly the next. It don't really matter. It's situational. But, I think they did use him. I think A. Lavelle is right. I think they did use him because he was willing to say something stupid. It's people out there willing to crash out. Like, he was willing to crash out. And so he crashed out. And, he got flack for it, but I'm pretty sure he's getting a lot of love for it at the same time. So, what was I going to say? Oh, about the starting lineup. Yes. About the starting line, I just want to see us be able to move the ball effectively on the Cardinals because I heard they have the worst defense ever. So just want us to be able, because really right now, the only person catching the ball is CD to me. I watch you guys do the live stream and then I go back and watch the highlights. So I can't really say too much. But I'll say this, though. Every time I watch the highlights, Dak is passing to CD every motherfucking time, bro. Will somebody else do something? Somebody else do something.
I agree.
I have some good and bad news for you about him. Is probably going to be getting the most targets, plays, whatever, just because of a matchup situation.
Yeah.
CD's going to be the biggest target in a good way.
Yeah, last week. Go ahead, Snug.
No, I'm just saying that's a part of the problem. We're going to need another weapon. It's just like the last year ended in San Francisco, we only had CD. It feels like, I know we got the Arrow, Brandon Cooks. I know we got him, but until we see him light something up, bro, I literally watched that last game, and it was literally Dak to CD every time. And I was just like, is anybody else playing?
Well, Brandon Cooks wasn't active in the last game, so that's part of the reason why
Brandon
he
Cooks,
didn't get to
but in the first game, he only got 2 catches, but it was in the rain. I think the rain had a lot to do with the first one. I think the second one, I'm going to be honest, I think the second one, and I said this before, I think Mike McCarthy purposely schemed CeeDee Lamb to move around and play a lot in the slot. So he was the obvious, always open target. It just worked out. They gave us that slot, and the Cowboys took it. So I think that if the Cardinals move around and get their best guys and try,
what she said.
I was thinking that. But if the Cowboys move them around, and again, we're going to talk about the slot situation, my brother broke it down from the Cardinals side, and he's going to tell you how bad this Cardinal defense is. But the key here is that if we move CeeDee Lamb and keep him in the slot most of the time, there's no, even in the outside. I mean, he's basically going to not have any real coverage against him in this game. When I say that, I mean any real talented coverage that's proven yet in the NFL. So he's going to be the one with the biggest separation. And I do agree with you, though. Someone like Michael Gallup, someone like Brandon Cooks, I think Cooks will come alive and I agree 100%. We got to see it, right? So we haven't seen it yet.
Freaking can Tolbert or just anybody become another consistent threat? Shoemaker, I don't care who it is. Just somebody become another threat that we could use that can be semi-consistent. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree. It's coming. I think it's coming. We just got 2 games in, rain, and then, no Brandon Cooks. CeeDee Lamb took over. At least we know CeeDee Lamb can take over pretty easily, I would say. And it's not just CeeDee Lamb taking over. To me, it's also Mike McCarthy moving CeeDee Lamb away from Sauce Gardner, right? And I think that's another thing you're going to see whenever you have a really good cornerback. You're going to see CeeDee in the spot where the guy either can't follow him or is not as good as following him there. And if they follow him and he locks CD down, I think that's when you're going to see. That's when what you're saying is right. We have to see the other receivers then pick up the slack when they lock down. When they double CD, someone's going to be open. So Dak got to find them, and the receivers got to get open. So we got to see that. We just haven't had a chance to see it. The Cowboys are rolling shit out real slow, real conservative. And I don't know. I personally like that because they're not showing too much of our hand right now. We don't have to.
Like, I understand the general concern, though, as far as somebody other than CeeDee Lamb has to start doing something, just because that was one of the things that killed us offensively last year. We did not have a full lineup of receivers that were doing their thing. This year, we just want to see that. And because of circumstances, like you said, first a little bit of the weather, this game a little bit more defense and scheme, we just haven't really seen that. So against this shitty team and shitty defense, if we don't start lighting it up in the air, I mean, a lot of people are going to start asking a few questions about, hey, like, when is this offense going to start, slanging that thing? I'm just saying, that is kind of what we're waiting to see. And yes, a variety of players catching the ball.
You're going to see my brother tell us how bad he's a fan of this team. He'll tell you how bad this team is in coverage. I mean, these are rookie 6-rounders. I'm just saying the Cowboys will get open. I'm talking Michael Gallup, Cooks, and CeeDee Lamb. But CeeDee Lamb definitely the most separation in the one of the bigger separation players in the NFL, receiver, and Michael Gallup still one of the worst. So you got a point there, Snug. You got a point there, Snug.
Yeah, no, your brother looks exactly like you if you worked at like a farmer's market or something like.
Dr. G.
I guess no one's really seen you like without the beard and stuff like that, but I can assure you their faces are different when Mr. MCF shaves the beard. They obviously look related and stuff like that, but their face shapes are different. And it's kind of funny if you see mom and dad, it's like one of them is a clone for mom and the other one's a clone for dad. So there you go. It's kind of funny.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm listening.
Oh, yeah. Oh, now we're getting to the good stuff here, Mr. Snug, because now we got to talk about kind of continuing on the Tyron Smith situation, and I just want to make sure.
I still have to say, like, how the fuck does someone get hurt in a walkthrough? I don't know.
We don't have a lot of the information. I'm going to give you a little bit of information that maybe you guys haven't heard. It just came out recently within the last hour or so. But here's the deal, guys. We knew this afternoon that the word is from the Cowboys, front office. At least one of these three guys, not these three guys, but Tyron Smith, Tyler Biadasz, and Zach Martin. At least one of those three will play in this game tomorrow against the Cardinals. Maybe two. I mean, I guess you could say maybe all three, right? I guess it's possible still with all three of them questionable. But all traveled. The walkthrough was in Dallas, of course, at the Star. Then they got on the plane after the assessment. Even though they still left them questionable, they added Tyron Smith on the questionable list. All three guys went on the plane. All three guys are traveling to Arizona, which is a good sign going forward. The last thing I want to say is about number 77, Tyron Smith. And the news I hear is this. When it comes to his knee injury, it's the same knee he always has the issue with the brace. Same knee. And
here we go again.
I'm telling you, man, wasn't he at his best that he ever been? This is like the 18th year in a row he said this. But same knee he always deals with. When he's healthy, he's one of the best out there. And, that means that, will he be able to handle this? Maybe he can handle this injury better because he's had it before. He knows what he can take and not take. They put him on the plane, so he's obviously maybe able to play. I don't expect him. The way it sounds like this is way too recent, 24 hours away from the game, and he tweaks his knee. I don't think you want to rush him back in there. So that means you're going to see guys like Awesome Richards, number 76 on that field, playing left tackle, the blind side. Or, which is what I think is going to happen, you're going to see number 73, Tyler Smith, bump out to the left tackle spot. If there's no Tyron Smith, Tyler Smith is left tackle. And who's the left guard? Well, initially, like I said, it would be Chuma Edoga, right? Because he's the guy that played that spot. But if there's no Zach Martin, and he's playing the right side, and the center is Brock Hoffman, well, then who are you going to put the left guard? Well, the guy who's been doing you could go with Asim Richards, the rookie and fifth rounder, but the undrafted TJ Bass was the guy who got the first crack at that. So at worst case scenario tomorrow, guys, and this is no joke here, it makes me really sad. The left tackle could be the starting lineup tomorrow. Tyler Smith at left tackle, TJ Bass at left guard, center, you're going to have Brock Hoffman, right guard, you'll have Chuma Edoga, and then right tackle Terrence Terrence Steele. Of course, you can. I would also say you could probably flip flop the TJ Bass to maybe right guard. I know he played there as well, and you'd have Chumadoga back at left guard.
You have a few options on a few of the guys on moving them around, but either way, like I said,
how does that make you feel?
Our starting O-line is basically some sticks glued together with some gum, hopes and dreams.
Again, and against a defense of the Cardinals that are definitely not that good. But now we have an even matchup, a little more even of an even matchup. Yesterday we were talking about all 5 guys possibly starting. And even now, it still could be possible, but if they don't, then it's back to even. We were dominating this defense. We could do whatever we want, run the ball, whatever, pass block. But now it evens the stakes now. And so now it's about the quick passing game when we pass, and hopefully they got holes that Tony Pollard can get through in there. So obviously not a very good development going forward. But again, all 3 are on the plane, and hopefully this means that we have a chance to see them full play. Offensive line. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath for this. A couple other little injury notes, I guess, on the side. And I'll go back to this in a minute when it comes to the offensive line. But DeMarvion Overshown got hurt in that second preseason game against the Seahawks. And we saw I talked about it yesterday, the picture of the video of his kind of surgery. It was his left ACL, left knee. And he had that in a brace. But then his right knee is the same exact brace. We talked about it in detail yesterday. And I found out what it's about, guys. It's good news. It's called contralateral graft harvest. When it comes to these ACL reconstructions, basically they use parts from other parts of the leg, of the muscles there, which improves recovery time, improves strength, and improves the strengthening of the tendon. So more than likely, this piece of tendon was pulled from his hamstring, and they usually use the middle third of the patellar to kind of help this I guess you could say reconstruction, the regrowth here, improving recovery. So
in layman's terms, basically we all know how a skin graft works more or less, right? Like they take a piece of skin from one part and they stick it onto another. Well, that's exactly what they did here. They took some nice strong muscle from the healthy leg and basically stuck it into the injured leg so that they help I think of it, help strengthen things up there, hold things up better, and help on the recovery process so that muscle doesn't have to regenerate fully on its own. Honestly, science is really cool, really freaky, really weird. But that's the reason why he had both legs in a brace, although it sounds like he also got some little minor stuff cleaned up while they were in there, supposedly.
He could have, if he had anything wrong. I don't know if he did or not, but if he did have anything wrong...
that wasn't made clear, but either way... they took the muscle from his hamstring. It's not like they took his other
they didn't take his other ACL. They weakened that one. They took his hamstring and put it in there for the regrowth, the graft harvest there for the ACL reconstruction. So great news for Overshown. I guess the best news you can have. But again, he had his surgery, just about a month later. Why? The swelling had to go down. So you actually do, you can work out. And you do that. That's what Michael Gallup did. You work out, you get the legs stronger, the muscles around the tendon.
You basically like re-strengthen the muscle before they go in there and operate, which lessens the recovery time. So you've been seeing that for the last few years around the league. But that seems to be the new procedure for
Michael
these
Gallup,
types of injuries.
Well, Gallup, Terrence Steele, they did it that way. And you're seeing the same thing here with DeMarvion Overshown. So good luck to him on that. The last guy I want to talk about when it comes to injury, and it's a good news situation here, is Donovan Wilson. Donovan Wilson's back for the game tomorrow. Again, a big, heavy hitter for the Cowboys on the safety, linebacker, hybrid kind of linebacker spot of things. He's going to be helping with run, pass rush, coverage, everything. So maybe even quarterback spy if needed. So Donovan Wilson, I do want to make one note about him, why he's so important. Why is he so important? The leading tackler for the Dallas Cowboys last year. Usually it's a linebacker, right? Usually it's LVE, Damone Clark, someone like that, right? Anthony Barr last year. No. The leading tackler on this team is Donovan Wilson in 2022.
Well, hot damn.
The only safety in the NFL, Donovan Wilson, who had 100 or more tackles last year, 5 sacks, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 forced fumble. The only safety to do all those things last year. He's an all-around baller, can play any level. He pass rushes as well.
I have missed him so much on this team.
You're going to see him for the first time making his debut along with Tyler Smith tomorrow against the Cardinals. So I'm looking forward to that.
Could not have come at a better time.
Yeah, it's going to be good to see him out there putting, just watching Mr. Dobbs. Josh Dobbs is going to be, he's an agile, mobile quarterback. He's not made to run necessarily, but he is a guy that can get out of stuff. Zach Wilson-ish a little bit.
What Tank said earlier in the week. He's like, if you're not a mobile quarterback, you better learn to become one.
Yeah, well, he's going to take the extra class this week, I guess. And, going back to the actual Jets game last week, there's the Jets safety, Jordan Whitehead. He had 3 interceptions in week 1 against the Bills. He was fined $21,855. Why? Because unnecessary roughness in response to the 3rd down hit last Sunday on the Cowboys wide receiver, Michael Gallup. Remember that little knee?
Yeah,
got twisted up.
Caught that. They didn't even call it a penalty.
He tried to dive forward. The guy targeted him. You could see he just hit him in the back, in the neck, in the head area. No flag was thrown. The Cowboys made the field goal the next play, but that should have been a flag. That would have been an automatic first down. Hey, it might have been a touchdown. That was Michael Gallup's only catch that game. Snug X just mentioned about the receivers. We need more of that from Gallup, but he was cheap shotted not cheap shotted, but targeted in that game.
That was one very hard hit.
And that would have been an automatic first down. And again, they fined him, so we knew they missed obviously the referees missed the flag on Jordan Whitehead. He was fined $21,855. Now, I do have
missed it if it was a Cowboy committing it. I'll tell you that.
You can bet your ass on that. You can bet your booty on that, baby. Now, we do have, again, we don't have much more to go here, and I do want to just shoot the shit with Snug X for a little bit. So, just with this Cardinal game, and again, I don't know if Snug wants to.
I was running out of shit to say.
No, go ahead, man. No, hit it up. You have anything you want to throw in here?
Yeah, I wanted to get this in, and I'm sorry I interrupted you. I know you had a question.
No.
I just wanted to show today.
Yeah, man, this is the next segment's going to be leading into the Cardinal breakdown. Then once my brother goes, I put my brother's recording up on here. It's going to be the night, so I want to make sure we do discuss everything that you want to discuss here on My Cowboys Family, man. And I'm giving you the floor now.
Let me get this off my chest. The Legion of Doomsday is one of the dumbest nicknames for defense I've ever heard.
Don't say that about Simon. Simon's
look, I'm not afraid of Simon. I don't bar no plex. If you want to come talk about it, we can talk about it. But
I like it personally, but go ahead, let's hear your view.
The Legion of Doomsday, one, you got Seattle's dick in your mouth. I mean, you're biting Seattle, because that's the Legion of Doom. Why we taking that shit? I don't get that. And then the Legion of Doomsday, I get the Legion of Boom, the Legion of Doomsday. I get that. But that motherfucker is so long, bro. The LODD,
it is a little long. That is a good point.
I mean, that, and I just don't understand why, with Cowboy teams, everything needs to have a name, Hot Boys, freaking whatever you want to call it.
I hate the Hot Boy shit.
When it was 214 and all that was popping up, I just don't.
The no-fly zone.
Yeah, but it's just go out there and win. And I feel like you got to know everything that has to come in full circle for you to win a Super Bowl. Everything the universe has to kind of align for you to win a Super Bowl. So I think that you don't win a Super Bowl just because you haven't won one in a while. You don't win a Super Bowl just because you want one. You win a Super Bowl when you deserve to win a Super Bowl. That's when we win Super. And I think that the Cowboy fans, and me included, I don't think we act like we deserve to win one. I don't think we act like we deserve to win one. I think we act like we're owed one because we haven't had one in forever. But I'm just saying, it takes the whole universe aligning for you to win unless you're that one team, unless you're the Chiefs for that year or the Patriots when they were hot. But if you're just a team trying to come up and just knock somebody off, man, everything has to align. So I think that we should really, really be thankful that we're in such a good position and cherish the grind, cherish the come up, because I think it's the people right now, it's the people that love it right now, it's the people that are here right now before the championships that are the ones that are the real ones. So I think salute to everybody in the chat here on a Sunday morning, Saturday night to support the Cowboys. You guys are the real ones. I appreciate y'all having me. I don't have anything else to say. Besides,
you gotta hold up. You can't just make a comment like that and not expect me to say something about it.
I didn't know it was gonna be a comment. Okay.
I didn't know either until I heard what you said. Now,
all right, baby, bring it.
I know what I'm gonna. You said it. We're gonna keep it real. I know what I'm gonna say is gonna ruffle your feathers, just because I know how you feel about this particular topic. But up until extremely recently, this franchise was not doing the type of shit that you needed to do to win Super Bowls. We did expect that shit to be handed to us. Jerry Jones thought that shit was gonna fall out of Jason Garrett's ass. I'm so sorry. And then that's not even talking about the stuff before that, and then the stuff before that, and then the stuff before that. So I did not see Super Bowl moves from this front office up until this past year or two. I did not see them taking it seriously. I didn't see them look like they wanted to even win. Now, I can't speak for every single person in our front office, of course, but at least the leaders of this organization, they looked like they were just fine with constantly being in the mix, right?
Yeah, competition is what they want. When we competitive.
And if anybody was riding off of the expectation that we should be getting Super Bowls, oh man, it is Gerald Jones, right? Jared. Mr. Jones, who thinks that the 90s are just going to suddenly up and appear again in front of us. The rules have changed. Everything has changed. Everything changes every year. But this is the first time where I feel like going into a season, I genuinely have hope that doesn't feel like it's just coming from my desire to see my team win because I'm such a fan, right? Like, it feels like it's rooted in facts. Like, I have a foundation to root upon. And at least for me, that's one of the bigger difference makers, which is why I think the hype around the Cowboys this year, like all us Cowboy fans are feeling like extra crazy, because for the old school, the old heads, that's why we're talking Legion of Doomsday and all this stuff, because it's not just fake hype. We're all seeing what we're seeing here, and that's why some of this shit pisses us off bad.
I do understand you have to overcome, and as a Cowboy fan, long time, one of the real ones, as Snug says, you have to see it first. You can't keep we were 3-0 in 2019, and guess what happened? We were 3-3 after week 6. Injuries happen. You got to overcome that. You got to have depth. You got to have the right move, maybe here and there in the season, right? So there's a lot of things you got to do still. In 2 weeks, ain't cutting it. But we are seeing things. The defense, this breathing machine of defense that has been getting better every year. That's not deceiving us. That's reality. We are a scary defense. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. No. The defense is legit. Like, Parsons is legit. Parsons is a blue chip, one in a lifetime. You're never going to get another one. Play it. Like, Michael Parsons is going to win a Super Bowl, whether it's here or, God forbid, anywhere else. But he's going to win a Super Bowl. Michael Parsons is going to win one. I'm saying this. MCW, I just want to let you know that you are beautiful. You are beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful. And I say that to say you are so wrong. Jerry Jones has done everything. Oh my God, you did not just get me started on Jerry Jones.
Everything what, where, when, why, how? The only thing he did was ride around the Jerry copter and telephone us from the Jerry yacht.
He traded 2 first-round picks to get Joey Galloway. And just because Joey Galloway didn't work out, he screwed himself.
Can I bring up Roy Williams? Hey, Snug, can I bring up Roy Williams, the receiver, as well?
Look, he tried to get Roy Williams. No. I'm saying everything that Jerry Jones did to try to win a Super Bowl and nobody gives a damn about. He went and got Claiborne in the draft, and then he signed Carr, and then Claiborne busted, and Carr was average for freaking his whole contract.
But who was he listening?
Went out on the limb and did that.
Okay, but who was he listening to? Like, who was the great defensive mind that said, "Yeah, let's get Claiborne. Yeah, let's do this." Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Jerry Jones wanted to do things his way, because in his mind, Paxton Lynch was oh my God, we got to get Paxton Lynch, guys. He's the guy. He's going to be the leader of the Cowboys offense.
And then we,
Look, everybody's not 100 on draft day. Okay,
well, that's why you listen to the motherfucking experts. That's why you listen to the experts. You listen to the people who know better. I am not gonna go into someone else's house and tell them how to cook their food.
So
I'm gonna sit there, enjoy my plate.
Will McClay.
Yes, thank you very much, Will McClay. What do you want to serve me? Because I'm gonna eat the whole thing. My plate's gonna be licked fucking clean, Will McClay. I'm sorry,
yeah,
but Jerry
McClay,
said no. It's the Jerry way.
Me that I want to eat. What do you want to serve me that I want to eat? Because if you come into my house and cook my food, it's going to be something I want to eat.
Huh. Okay, but Jerry wants to eat like tofurkey. I don't know what to tell you,
McGriddles.
That is not a T-bone steak.
Look, we can fight about Jerry Jones all day. The fact of the matter is, he owns the team. That's the cut.
That's a fact. We know he can do. He can shit on the star if he wanted to. Yeah, he can do whatever he wants.
And I just think that I don't want to say Cal. I think that people are not generous to what he's brought to the. They don't really acknowledge everything he's done. But no, I'm out of breath from yelling.
Jerry does good things. He does bad things. A lot of the things when it comes to the team, the players, is bad. When it comes to the stadium and the facilities, is great.
And you know what? Respect where respect is due. The clown show has not been clowning this season. We
Correct.
have not been able to honk their noses, and I respect that because this is the type of shit that I have been waiting from Jerry. Jerry can do it his way, but damn it, he has to learn when to give in to the people who know what the fuck they're talking about, and it took some time to get here.
Not let ego and pride, I think, maybe make some decisions for him sometimes.
Yeah, and you know what?
Giving power to Mike McCarthy is an ego pride thing. He finally did it, and we're looking a lot better on offense, I think, when it comes to like managing and adjusting offensive scheme and taking every game, for what it is. Not just every game is the same. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, like Kellen Moore, like Lenahan, like Garrett. You know what I'm saying? So at least Jerry Jones gets credit for giving up that control that he had that was hurting the team.
But you know what, Jerry? If you don't want the smoke, you're going to have to get out of the kitchen, because if he is going to be the owner / GM of the team, unless one of those two things changes, and realistically speaking, I don't see him giving up ownership of the Cowboys, he will always be the guy taking the hits and taking the shots, because similar to quarterbacks, who's the guy leading things? Who's the guy sitting in the chair? Who's the guy running things? It's Jerry. So when things go wrong, the same way everyone wants to blame Dak, of course, because the shit trickles uphill in this case.
Who do you think the Cowboys are without Jerry Jones?
Honestly, that's hard to say, because the Cowboys as we know it is built off of Jerry. I'm not denying that either. And also, like, I like my glitz, I like my glamour, I like my fancy shit too. Like, we're Cowboy fans here. We do like the finer things, right? But at the end of the day, we're here to play football. And no amount of marble floors and suede leather interior, none of that is going to win us Super Bowls. Real football is going to win us Super Bowls. I see Jerry making real football moves. I give him credit for it, but that does not negate the 20-something years of non-football moves. That's all. Fumbles. So, come through, Jerry.
Hey, far this year, we're giving him credit, man. We are.
All right. I just wanted to say, hey, I really, like I said, I'm back to jumping off. I really appreciate you guys. I think we all do. And I think that I'm out of words to say, because I'm getting to talk to MCW, and everybody in the chat knows. Everybody in the chat knows. So I'm just stoked I get to talk to MCW, and MCF is here too.
Hi.
And I really appreciate the time. I think this is a dope feature. And I can't wait to see who you guys get. Before I go, I want to shout out homeboys in the chat like A. Lavelle, Skeptical, freaking Scorpio, Burn Bar, all my dogs, everybody who's not here no more, Scott Yak, Pete P, Jay Slade. I want to say that y'all go.
Hold up, fuck Pete P. He can go jump off a bridge.
Oh, Pete P. Jim, is that bad?
I got Dan. Like, what the fuck?
After what
he just wanted Isaac Alarcon on the team, and he realizes that we were right now.
What did Pete P do?
He was pissed because he was mad that we said Isaac Alarcon was a practice squad player. last year.
And then he said some extremely disrespectful things off of that, and I'm sorry, but no,
I'm not going into that, but
sorry, wherever you are, fuck yourself.
There you go.
I did not know that it went out like that for Pete P. Anyways, man, like I said, man,
it's all good.
Adore you guys, and say what's up to your brother for me. I had a great time tonight, and thank you. That's all I got, man.
Hey, man, Snug, man, we appreciate you, man. I'm going to talk the Cardinals now. I'm going to let my brother take it away, I guess, and I hope you're listening and enjoying this. I appreciate you being here so much, and again, it's a new feature here with the over everything level, and it's a good way of, again, if you wanted to, you could stay the whole way through here until we put my brother on, but we appreciate your knowledge on things, your Cowboy love and experience of being a fan for this team for years and years and decades. So I'm just saying, like, you understand, and
it is not easy being a Cowboy fan.
It is not, but I do
take all the shit. But all the time.
I love the fact that I get to learn. See, here's the thing I love about My Cowboys Family, the channel here, and everybody in it. I don't agree with a lot of people in here 100%, right? I agree with some things I don't, but I learn different perspectives on things. Some things are maybe whatever bullshit. Some things I'll tell Snug, hell no. Some things I'll be like, I see his points, and he makes some good points tonight. So, and that's what I like. I like to learn too. I like to learn from other perspectives and see things differently. Now, we may never see eye to eye on Jerry Jones overall. I do see the good things he's done, though. I see the bad things he's done, and so we're on the same page. All of us here, we want that number 6 Super Bowl and beyond. So that's what it's about, man. And I appreciate you being part of the family here, big time, Snug X. And we love your support, of course, but we of course appreciate your thoughts on our Cowboys like this. And that that just it proves to me that navy blue silver too, and that star of everything. That's a life thing, guys. That's a life thing.
NCF, you're a hell of a guy. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. Yes.
You might have married the perfect girl for me, but I can forgive you in years. And I just wanted to say, yeah, man, fucking, it's been real, and it's been real, and thanks to everybody in the chat for putting up with my audio or whatever.
Actually, they actually all said that they were big fans. They said it reminded old school radio call-in show.
Yeah. We again, and that's every single person that goes in the over everything will have an opportunity once a month. I mean, I hope he's here next month. We get another Snug X check-in.
Hey, guess what? If that's the case, you know what game will have happened not too long after that, right? That means we're gonna finally see some real football. Oh yeah. So we'll actually have some serious shit to talk about besides we hurt ourselves, we smacked ourselves in practice.
Bart Scott in his comment.
We put 60 points on the Cardinals.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate you, Snug. You're the man.
But all right, there, y'all. I'm out.
Take it easy, Snug. And yes, guys, this is not the end of the stream, right? In case you missed it earlier, Dr. G really did want to join us live, but he is Dr. G, so his schedule did not really allow for it this week, unfortunately. We were able to have a chat with him, though, which is great.
It's coming up on here, guys, in a little bit. I do have a couple of quick notes on this Cardinal game and on our Cowboys and our offense here, but again, I got to give another big shout-out to Snug X. We know why he's here. He's repping that navy blue, silver to and star for everything. Currently, the top supporter right now at this moment here when it comes to the takeovers. 6 weeks in Cash App, coming for 7. He's in the lead. He's our stream boss. You see him up there repping the board with Tony Dorsett, or right now, Damone Clark, 33 points. Much love to Snug. He's also the overall leader by a tiebreaker over Marco Sepien. So he's about to trying to take over 3 out of the 4 boards here on MCF. Much love to Marco Sepien. 2 weeks in a row, back-to-back, repping that sponsor of the week. Much love to Ron, the Don Smith, the Don of the gifting membership side of things. Jason Renfro, currently up 1 on Skeptical Fan when it comes to that battle for this week's championship. And I think that's everything. I don't know. Snug X got the lead on the other board, so he's repping it here all over. So again, and here on My Cowboys Family again. Once the next month hits, sometime in the next, next month or so, I guess 3 weeks or so.
2-3 weeks or so.
Yeah, we can get him back on here, and we'll have another one in the over everything level again. You guys want a whole show to yours? I mean, Snug could have been here till the end, right? But he said his piece, and he had a lot of great stuff to say. I hope you guys enjoyed it here in the chat as well. I know some people were like, no, more, less. I like the fact that we get to hear different perspectives than just ours. And even myself and you, baby, we sometimes do complain
and we will
on
be
things
having
and argue
our
about.
usual bye-week little call-in special at some point throughout that bye week. So,
Yes.
of course, that's a chance for everyone in the MCF family to chime in, call in, and share their thoughts, right? Great, and also, we've been very lucky the last few years. Our bye week is like kind of right in the middle of the season, so I think it's like a great midpoint to be like, yeah, this is what we're doing now.
Oh, we got a 5 on it by the Lunatic. Holy moly, guys, the Lunatic just dropped 5 on it, and I mean 5 memberships for the family. And perfect time. I want to say this again. Make sure you guys drop them if you got them. We got all the Cardinal emojis, the anti-Cardinal emojis. You got the pro-Cowboy stuff. Please, make sure you guys drop them while it's hot.
The Lunatic said, I wanted to do this during the first Cowboys touchdown against Arizona, but tonight's chat deserves it more.
Man.
And thank you so much, the Lunatic. Again,
Much love.
I love and appreciate the love you're showing here to the family. Spot, can you save me? Kelly KC, Dustin Roberts. We got Big Boss Man and Bama fan, all of you guys.
Yes.
Being shown the love by the Lunatic. Huge shout out to you, man. Appreciate you, of course. And yeah, these streams are extra special because they, Snug X said it, Cowboy fans, like all of us. We are different.
Our fan base is crazy, and we love our team. It's a life. That's why I told them it's a life thing, man. This is a thing that you don't. It's like a religion. You know what I'm saying? Except that we know it's actually here. Anyways, the point is that it is fantastic to have a family like this, a connection like this, and we all are connected by that star over everything.
I remember every family has that one crazy uncle.
Hey, listen,
there's a creepy uncle and then there's a crazy uncle.
Love them all.
Which one's Jerry?
Extra
Is
special.
he both?
He is both.
Is he both? I guess I would say it depends. It depends on which side of the glory hole you're on,
exactly.
right?
I think he's on both sides. That's the scary thing. Anyway.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, sorry. Montana 808 also said
we're going crazy. It's a Saturday night. We're all hanging.
What did he call him? Oh shit, where was it? Where'd it go? What? He said Tyron Ligament Smith. And I'm sorry, that tickled my funny bone.
It's knee ligament. Who knows what's going on? It's probably a sprain.
Even Lee's side, but he's adopted. That's what I mean by, I guess he's the drunk uncle, isn't he? He's a drunk uncle who's like, I'm telling you what, my guys are going to do it this year. And
I think he's the creepy uncle.
Sit down, uncle. Have another beer.
By the way,
I think you're giving him too much credit.
The Lunatic jumps into first place on the weekly gifting membership list there. The gifting leader. He has 5 on it. Jason Renfro got 4 on it. Skepto got 3 on it. Brandon's got 1 on it. Much love to all 4 of you guys, and appreciate your love and support and gifting the memberships to the family members here. During the games, remember as well. I mean, we usually have a little bit more volume when it comes to members.
If the Cowboys were a gang,
you can always drop them in. You could drop them in there, and it really gets a lot more kind of. Tonight, you get the locals, the ones that hang out the most. In the games, you get more of a volume, right? A volume boost. You see it like double or triple sometimes the numbers here. You can get, it'll be everybody end up with a membership on the game days. So again, much love. That's the best way to help the channel. Ron the Don is the champ last week. Now we got the Lunatic in the lead over Jason, Skeptical, and Brandon. Sorry, baby. I'm going to update the board, put the Lunatic on the actual leaderboard.
Yeah, and then obviously we're going to start playing that Cardinals footage there. So yeah, sorry, that cracked me up. Amazing games, much love. Have a good night. Take it easy, of course.
Yeah, hit the chat up. We didn't get a chance much to do that.
Captain 2 said East Side is the one in the closet everyone knows, but they won't say it out loud, right? Like, they're just roommates for 22 years, right? Right? So, let me see. Retro Sky said East Crest thinking Springfield missing his 8 inches. Oh, you're being generous with the 8 inches there, Retro. No. So, Scorpio said Samuel Jackson beat out Tyron Smith for the Mr. Glass role.
Yeah. Will Smith, really?
I feel like Tyron Smith, he is no longer allowed to say this is the healthiest he's ever felt. Next time I hear him, he better say this is the weakest he's ever felt. He's never been a more beat up motherfucker. There has never been someone more hurt than him currently on an active roster. I want him to say that because then he'll wake up like with the Mario mushroom, super powered or star power. I don't know at this point. All of it, right? Choctaw Montana said, you got folks gangbanging Dallas Cowboys. It made me think, I'm like, if the Cowboys were a gang, what would be their gang sign? Like, would we be throwing up stars? Would we be doing, like sign language, throwing up the D? Like how are we identifying ourselves out here in the streets? like just saying, we got to have a code. Yeah, a man's got to have a code.
Quoting some Wire for the family tonight.
Yeah, so we're definitely rewatching the...
a great show.
Nah, they... Oh, sorry, cracked me up. So, yes, extra late night here. Let me shut up and hand things off to you before I say some more dumb stuff. You see? No, somebody here needs to stop me like someone should have stopped Bart Scott.
Ooh, there you go. I'll try to stop you next time, baby.
Thank you.
I'll make sure I say,
yeah, you're letting your coworker just run rampant. Out of control.
I'm just letting the freedom.
Are you being Stephen A. Smith, just watching me dig myself into a deeper hole?
Yeah, it's a setup, as Snug said. I'm fucking with you, Snug. Much love. And everybody in the house, hit the like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and, drop your comments down below. If you want us to talk about something you're saying directly, catch our attention with some love, and we'll do our best to catch the other comments here, of course, throughout the night. Now, as when we get my brother on here and his clips of what he said about the matchup tomorrow and from his side of things, we'll be chatting in the chat a little bit and typing a little bit. We won't be on mic anymore at that point. Before we get there, though, of course, big shout out to our other special guest, Snug X. But let's get into this game tomorrow really quickly, baby, about the offense for us. Real quick, I want to throw in a couple things. As far as fans are concerned, when it comes to this, I guess you could say, this team, as an overall team, how confident is the fan base about our entire team? And starting with the coaching, really, in some ways, but just the entire team, the offense, whatever it may be. What the Cowboys, as far as the fan base is concerned, about 97% of Cowboy fans believe that the Cowboys are headed in the right direction.
I think most of us can agree on that. Shit.
Never seen that much.
I want to know who disagrees and why.
Ooh, never.
What direction should we be going?
I've never seen that much optimism by a fan base, for our Cowboy fan base, in a long damn time. They see what we see, and so does Demetrius Alexander, who now is in the Navy Blue crew. Why?
I think I see what he sees, right?
Because of Mr. Jason Renfro dropping that gifted membership. Ooh. And in a tie right now, baby, with the Lunatic for first place on that board. What did Jason Renfro say? We know he said "Go Cowboys."
Oh yeah.
But shout out, who got that there? Demetrius Alexander.
Yeah, Demetrius Alexander. Oh, sorry, I thought you were.
No. I'm just gonna update the board real quick.
All good. So, Montana said, "Let me stop being a McAsshole and grab me a McChicken." Frame Ripper said, "Remember, people, when Tyron Smith says he's the healthiest and best shape of his life, think Apollo Creed versus Ivan Drago. He too was also in the best shape of his life." Every
year it happens, unfortunately, with Mr.
You know the worst part?
Tyron
Every
Smith.
year I fall for it. Every year I hope for it. You know what I mean? I sit there and I want to believe.
Nah, I knew this year he'd never last, and he got hit in the wall. He got hurt in a walkthrough today. It's just hurts my nuts to think about that. It's unfortunate.
So hey, Fuego 2.0. Honestly, that's I know we joke, but like part of the whole My Cowboys Family point is, again, how many times have you agreed with your family on everything or literally anything, right? But you're still united. You're still a family, right? We're all here, Cowboy fans. That's the thing that unites us. And even if we all have a variety of different opinions on all those things. And Marco Seppian,
hey,
congrats to you.
How was he? He got
Jason
membership.
Renfro said, "I got you, Mark.
Jason got another one. Marco Seppian in the house. Aloha to the man, back-to-backs, like our winner, like our 90s Cowboys.
Woo.
Sponsor of the week.
Jason
Trying to go for that
Renfro
three-peat.
showing that love.
Yes,
Thank you, man.
Much love to Jason Renfro right there. Back-to-back giftings. You know what that means? He's the gifting leader right now, baby, on this board. So another big shout out to Jason Renfro passing up De Lunatic, the Godfather here on MCF. So I'll update that board. I just want to throw that out there. Again, appreciate you, Jason Renfro. Congrats to Mr. Mark Hosepian, who could now, if he wanted to, could gift memberships as well. But they wouldn't have his comments. So, but we read them, of course, as we always try to catch as many people as we can with their comments. But as far as my comments about the offense, that's the other part of things, guys. What's the confidence level for the Cowboys when it comes to Mike McCarthy's offense? Dak Prescott running this offense on the field. And according to the Cowboy fan base, somewhat confident, 40% was the first top answer. Very confident was the second answer with 39%.
Oh, okay, that's very close.
So that's 79%. Yep, 1% difference there. 79% difference between very confident and somewhat confident about the level of confidence in this new Dallas Cowboy offense under Mike McCarthy. So, again, you also had...
So overall positive.
Yeah, very almost 80%, and you had 19% say we need to see more, which I can't blame them either. We only had 2 games. And then 2% were Eastside Heralds, saying not buying it. Nah. Which, again, we got to wait. I think the worst you can say is we got to see more. Especially without we're missing our offensive lineman the last couple of weeks, Tyler Smith. Now we're missing Like 3 guys
I know,
possibly
but
tomorrow.
I kind of get it. Because, again, one of the points we touched on tonight with Snug X was, can somebody other than CeeDee Lamb show up on the field? So that's what I'm saying. The people who said I need to see more, I understand.
And I agree. That's what I was saying. I 100% agree. I need to see more is a good answer here. I can't get mad at the 20% that said that. Now, when it comes to the franchise history games, when it comes to Dak Prescott and all his games went with the Dallas Cowboys, let me make sure I flip it here from...
See, Frame Rippers is one of the 3% because he said, until week 5, like, I'm not buying anything this team is selling.
So, again, he's one of those very skeptical on the offensive side. Not defense. I know he's a big fan of defense, but offensive side, skeptical. And, again, I can't even blame it. I just think that right now you really can't say don't buy it until you see... We were against a good Jets defense. If you don't think they're that good, they're still a top 12 team defensively, so... you can say about the fourth quarter, but the first half we scored 18 points all on offense against a healthy Jets, defensive line that an overall defense that couldn't stop us in reality there. So it's 18 points is enough to win that game. And that was all by the offense there. We had 24 points by the offense by the end of the game. But anyways, the point here is, let me get Mr. Big Bubble over here out of the way and put up there our quarterback, just for a quick moment, just to say kind of one quick message, which is this is going to be his 100th game, Dak Prescott. In the NFL, of course, all in the Cowboy uniform. He's going to join these quarterbacks on Sunday again, tomorrow.
We'll also have played their 100th game, I'm assuming.
Yeah, with the Cowboys. Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, and Tony Romo. You can see the list here. As far as best quarterbacks of all time, I mean, he's with these 4, obviously. And I think he's above Romo. Don't kill me for it, but that's what I believe right now. So will he be moving up this board? We got to win a Super Bowl to even consider that. And it's going to take more than one Super Bowl for him to pass Troy Aikman. So that's my opinion. But he would definitely be one of the greats, especially with the 27 years.
Look, at this rate, just put a ring on it, and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll
he solidified himself as a top 3 in all time. And really, with the uphill battle he's had to deal with, just in that performance alone, it might be the most worthy Super Bowl of all Super Bowls in a way, right? And the fact that it took so long to get it and that overcoming these years of misery and letdowns, and for him too in his career, that would be a perfect marriage there of 2 things. But got to see it happen, right? Just like you guys are saying, whether you're not buying the offense or you need to see more, overall as well for this team, we got to see it. It's been 27 years of misery. So it's time to, you want me to believe it? Go out there and win it, and let's show the world that we should, like Snug X said, crush the fucking Cardinals, even with missing our entire offensive line. And I agree. There's no excuses for the game tomorrow. Case fucking closed. When it comes to this game, guys, let me just throw on a couple other comments here before I let my brother and myself. We had a little interview, about a 40-minute interview. I want you guys to chill, sit back and relax for that in a minute. But let me just give you some Mike McCarthy kind of insight on this Cardinal game. The Cowboys have not started 3-0 since 2019. We were 3-3 after week 6 that year. We lost both left and right tackles, Tyron Smith, of course, and I think it was Lel Collins. Now, the Cowboys have not lost in week 3 since 2020, COVID year. So, again, that's a little bit of distance there. Also, Mike McCarthy teams against the Cardinals. My brother, you'll hear him talk about it. I mean, he said he's undefeated. The Cardinals are undefeated against McCarthy. It's not true. But I looked it up, and it was McCarthy is only 3-5 against Cardinal teams in the past. Of course, lost a couple here with the Cowboys. I think 2 years in a row, right? 20 and 21, we lost to the Cardinals under McCarthy. In each of the 6 losses, now you'll hear my brother talk about this. The 6 of our last 7 games against the Cardinals are L's for the Cowboys. This is payback against these damn Cardinals. In each of these 6 losses, the last 7 times we played them, that's since 2008, by the way. 2014 and 2020, the Cowboys did not have a starting quarterback those years, and each game was lost by a possession.
Just a single possession. In
the 2 games that the Cowboys lost. No, I'm sorry, not 2, but in the 6 games out of the 7, 2 of those games we lost, single possession by the Cowboys. So it was close in a lot of these games, still not enough. Can I have some bragging rights over my brother on this, please? Can the Cowboys do it for me?
I think we can this year for once.
We should. If the Cowboys fail in at least beating the Cardinals 24-6 or something, anything closer than that to me is a bit of a, I gotta start reevaluating shit. I still have to see more. Of course,
I mean, it depends on the why, of course.
Of course,
right?
of
but,
course.
Like for example, if it's our O-line getting beat to shreds, think most of us can understand it, even if against the Cardinals we're not exactly accepting of it, regardless of what scrub is in there.
Well, I understand that. I want to know, what is the adjustment of Mike McCarthy? That'll be his first true test if this thing is ugly on the trenches for the Cowboy offense. Now we
really haven't seen that yet. So again, you can add that to the list of things we need to see from our offense so far, right?
And again, the Cowboys have not beat the Cardinals since 2017. Not a happy thing. I think my brother did speak about that one. He also spoke that a lot of those games were big, epic games for the Cardinals to beat us in. Big monumental games for them.
So they had a lot more to play for.
Yeah, and again, they were better than us those years, most of those years. The Cowboys have also lost 6 out of our last 7 games against the Cardinals dating back to 2008. We shall see if this continues. Hopefully we start a new streak now in the right direction for this team. But look, the last thing I'm going to say here before I let my brother take it away, and I think you'll hear me find out about this literally in the discussion with him. And it is because now we know when it comes to the true X factor, we talked about offensive line, talked about the defensive side, of course. We got better on defense, in my opinion, guys, with Donovan Wilson in full effect as far as the safeties are concerned. Of course, big downgrade there with Trayvon Diggs being out. But still, we're going to be able to maintain because of our pass rush. And, special teams. It comes down to, really, to me, one specific player. It comes down to Mike McCarthy, no doubt. McCarthy's going to use the same scheme, the same mindset, I think, that you saw last week against the Jets when it comes specifically to what Snug X did not agree with and wants to see more from other guys. Brandon Cooks, he'll be playing this game. Michael Gallup, let's see if he can get some separation. He's going to play against lesser cornerbacks than he has the whole year. But CeeDee Lamb is the key. And the reason I say that, guys, is because when you hear this conversation with my brother, you're going to hear him explaining that the Cardinals don't even have a slot or nickel coverage kind of specialist. There is nobody who's going to be able to cover the slot receiver very well. That's one of my... And again, if you're wondering why I'm kind of excited about this true key to victory here, even without an offensive line, you got to get the ball out fast. That's the way this offense is designed. Under 2.3 seconds, get the ball out by Dak. CeeDee Lamb's going to be playing in the slot about... Again, he's done it as little as 60% and as much as 80+% in the slot. Last year, he's number 1 slot wide receiver in yardage in the entire NFL. Number 1 slot receiver in the NFL last year when it came to yardage. When it comes to usage, he's in there 70, 80% sometimes. So CeeDee Lamb against a non-existent Cardinal, nickel cornerback.
I'm going with 34-3, by the way. 34-3 Cowboys.
Yeah, let's make sure you drop your thoughts right now, guys, because when my brother takes over, it's going to be just us in a chat, and I'm going to disconnect the mic and the whole thing because I'm going to let my brother just take it away with my interview with him from yesterday, or before really the Tyron Smith news. So you'll hear that unfortunate thing, but that would not match up with some of what I say. But outside of that, it's going to be again, when I heard about their nickel cornerback situation, that's where CeeDee Lamb kind of sticks out to me as being another prime target and scheme specialty by Mike McCarthy. So we'll see what happens. And listen, if they start to bracket coverage and double him and safety over the top on CeeDee Lamb, guess what the Cowboys do? We'll find other guys open. They got to be open. Then if they're spending that much ammunition on CeeDee Lamb, these other very, very inexperienced rookie and second round and second year guys, we're going to get sliced and diced by our Cowboy passing
and
game.
if our receivers and our guys can't get it done against a scrub of a defense, then we'll reevaluate then.
Then we got to talk about it. That's the thing, right?
Especially if it's, again, an execution problem, which I have said since the beginning of the season clearly seems to be the biggest problem when it comes to offense, defense, special teams, both. Like, the schemes seem to work really well, and obviously our players kind of know what they have to do. Right? They seem to know their schemes really well, right? But it's those tiny little execution mistakes and things like that have caused a lot of the mistakes that we've seen, at least in my opinion. And and like I said, that includes offense and defense both. So,
yeah, no, I hear you. And
heck, even special teams got that stupid-ass penalty just because why? Because someone wasn't paying attention and they tackled someone they shouldn't have. Like, come on. Anyway.
CeeDee Lamb, I think, is the X factor here for the Cowboys. Truly a key to victory, a way of really taking control of the game. If we ever have any fear, this is the way we can probably keep digging in their wound and attacking them through CeeDee Lamb and through Mike McCarthy moving CeeDee Lamb around. Think of Mike McCarthy moving CeeDee Lamb around like Dan Quinn moving Micah Parsons around
Yeah.
on defense. It's the same kind of targeting matchup issues that's going to cause for the opposite side. You do that with CeeDee Lamb on offense, it's going to make things easier for Dak, for Mike McCarthy's play calls, but also for Michael Gallup and for Brandon Cooks and for the tight ends and others and running backs out the backfield. That's the scheme of Mike McCarthy we got to watch over.
Any bold predictions, my love? I do have one.
I don't really have many bold predictions. I think we just got to kill this team. I think shutout is my number here. I mean, I'm saying the Giants, we allowed 2 field goals and they missed them both, blocked and missed. The Cardinals had one big play with a mistake by our defense, and then we had that 2-minute drill, which I think was a mistake by Quinn more than anything. And after all of that said, we only allowed 10 points in 2 games. So to me, yeah, of course, I know the Cardinals will probably get some cheap points at the end of the game or something. They might get lucky and we make a mistake on offense. They kick a field goal because they got it in our own, 27-yard line. But outside of that happening, if we play a clean game, solid game, we're not going to let this team score a point, even with the injuries on offense, even with losing Trayvon Diggs. And when you look at us needing to pass, I think the Cowboys are going to expand the passing game tomorrow. Listen, the Cardinals are going to have major trouble stopping the run. And they have major trouble stopping the pass. The Cowboys can do it in either way. So you'll hear my brother talk about it in detail, and you guys can make your own decision and type in the chat, leave a comment if you're watching this on the replay. But again, this is what the offense can basically do whatever we want. We just got to not get too cute, pick the poison right for them, and let them dictate the way they want us to kill them.
My bold prediction is that Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb are going to have some kind of record-setting play. I'm talking like some 60-yard, 70-yard pass, touchdown pass type of shit. Something like that.
Will it be yak or just the bomb?
I'm leaving it open to interpretation just because, honestly, I'll take whatever they give us. And I think it could go either way. I'm not joking here. Like, I easily see CeeDee Lamb getting one of those little run plays that's, that passing play that's really a run play, and just tearing off down the field because, honestly, he has been doing a fantastic job of breaking out of tackles, too.
He's been running his routes superbly.
Yeah.
Over 3.5 yards of separation.
So, but to me, like, again, something like that is going to happen in this game. One of those types of play of the week things that ends up in that rotation.
I got one for you, baby. I got one. I don't know if it's going to be from the ground or the air, but what about this guy right here? You'll see him in a minute.
I was going to say MCF?
No, you'll see him get stopped here, but I think Deuce Vaughn might score a touchdown this game.
You think the Deuce is loose?
The Deuce might score 2, but I know he'll get 1 this game. How about that? If this is a blowout, like I think it should be, you'll see a lot more Deuce in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and you'll see Deuce getting loose out there, in my opinion.
No, I hope so. I would like to see the Deuce.
Oh, there you go. Just a touchdown or 2 for Deuce. That's all. We'll see. Ground or air, I don't know, but he gets in 2 of them. Now, final predictions before we get to my brother. I said it on this thing. I'm going to spoil it for you guys, but I'm actually going to actually be a little different because I think the Cowboys are going to beat the Cardinals worse than we beat the Giants. So I think it's going to be like 41-0. Boom. Cowboys win. What do you think, baby? As we go 3-0 and ready to take on the Patriots next week, who have Will Grier and Belichick to read all of our secrets on our offense.
Hey, I'm down. So
bring it on.
With that said,
what did you? You didn't give your.
I did.
Oh, your score prediction. I didn't know if you did. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
3. Were you not there when I said it?
I was not there. No, I was typing.
Okay. So.
Sorry. Okay, so 30,
it's all right. We all know
34-3. So they're gonna stick 3 points up on that board. Yeah. That's very
I think we do get over 30. Again, that's got to be the consistent hallmark of an offense like this against a defense like that. Otherwise, we're doing something wrong. Majorly wrong.
Yeah, and by the way, hit up a couple last comments. We can hit it up in the in the verbal side of things. We could hit you up in the chat throughout
Cowboys
this.
said 42-7 Cowboys. Thomas Garrett said 34-13 Cowboys. Lunatic said, Pollard, Rico, and Deuce all have touchdowns. We'll run the ball, eat the clock once we get ahead on the scoreboard.
I love that. Hey, that's a dream come true. I love that.
said 28-10. You see that around that is, you see Retro Sky said 27-13.
That's at the very least. I mean, we got to win at least by that.
I have to admit, Retro, if that happens, there's a part of me that's going to be really disappointed. If our score ends up looking 27-13, I'm always happy to win, but I'm going to be a little disappointed if that ends up the final score. Brian Harper, 31-13, 24-14 from Stone Immaculate, 37-10, sad Cowboy fan. Fuego said, I'm going over 40.
Yep. I said
Cowboys
40.
38, AZ 10.
I had to go 41 because we beat the Giants 40-0. Let's go 41.
38-10 from Big Boss Man. So honestly, pretty much everyone's just at near blowout levels of domination here. So Dobbs will be feeling the pain of the lion.
Ooh, Micah's coming. He's hungry, baby. He's hungry.
Let me see. There you go. Lunatic said Patrick Walker's bold prediction, 2 defensive touchdowns. Ooh, hey.
I like that.
Against this offense,
Good
absolutely
point.
likely.
Good point. And also, the fact that they are playing for kill here, guys.
Montana Away said, halftime 50-0, Dak's been benched 88%, 450 yards, 25-25, 158.6 QB rating for no reason.
Hell yeah.
No, we know
that's
the
what
reason.
I'm saying.
We know the reason.
Yeah.
The reason
And
is to
Trayvon,
tell all those haters to SRD.
Yeah, hey, and I think that's where the Cowboys
The
will be
baby.
forcing it right down the Cardinals' beaks. You know what I mean?
So, anyway, with that said,
Dude, shout out, I guess. Is that everyone?
yeah, I mean, I kind of did shout out to
All right.
comments there as we did them. So, and again, remember, guys, this isn't the end of the stream.
Oh, yeah,
But
no.
this is the end of the, non-pre-recorded portion of the stream. We are going to be in the chat. We're still going to be chatting here with you guys all about everything we're about to discuss here with Dr. G. Again, huge shout out to Dr. G for taking time out of his very busy schedule to talk with us football, especially because we know this is not exactly as exciting as it normally is to talk with Dr. G about his Cardinals.
Yeah, usually it's...
A few things have changed.
Yeah, I mean, usually it's a lot of a more Kyler Murray, and they've given us trouble. This is a lot more of a blowout situation, right? But we're still here to hear his side of things. I'm ready to hear it. I mean, give me a couple last comments, and I'm gonna get it set up and going.
I gotta get this final comment going because the lunatic with his $2 holler. You know what he said?
Let me know.
If Dallas scores over 35, we're doing a jersey raffle. Hey,
Woo!
Overshown
man.
said, we're doing this. Thank you so much, the lunatic. Again,
Much love.
no one shows the love here like you guys here in the
Yeah.
chat, in the family. Appreciate you all so much, and
Can't do what we do
especially
without you
when
guys.
we're showing and giving the love to the others
yeah,
here.
we cannot do this
amongst
without you guys'
us.
love and support. You guys are fantastic. And, the Lunatic was running the show last year every week with his drops and thoughts. Man, truly
Run,
humbled
hit,
by the
talk
best.
shit, you know it.
Yeah.
The lunatic, much love.
Remember who said that?
Appreciate you. Wasn't it a curse?
I think
Am
so.
I meant,
Wait,
right?
was
Run,
it
hit,
him?
talk shit.
No,
don't
was it
let-
Pollard?
Wait, no, it was Dak.
Was it Dak or Pollard?
I think it was
it was
Dak.
Dak. It was right. You're right, Dak. It was Dak.
It took me a second there because curse said
Fuck you.
nobody
don't let
fucks
fuck
with
with
you. Yeah, don't let nobody fuck with you.
Yeah.
Nobody fucks with you.
Much
So-
love to Lunatic. By the way, I appreciate the $2 holler. Snug X to 31 points on the stream boss right there as you see above us. So are we good? I guess we can get it going, right?
Yes, we can.
Guys,
I want to hear what Dr. G had to
yes.
say.
And we will hear, you will see and hear us tomorrow here at My Cowboys Family as we do the final day of the week. Of course, we're going to crown some champions and all that good stuff.
And not just the Cowboys.
Yeah, but we're going to do that here on MCF with of course, right now, will Snug X get that 7? He's got the lead. 7 in a row. He's got 31 points in the stream boss. He's got the overall lead on the over everything board there. Appreciate him. But right now, Marco Sepian right in the mix. He's also the sponsor of the week back-to-back. Jason Renfro tying the Lunatic right now in first. Oh, no, he's passed him, I think, in first place. I have to fix the board. Jason Renfro in first place on the gifting membership as Rhonda Dawn holds the crown right now there. And we'll see what happens tomorrow on that side of things. But even bigger, you know what we're talking about here, guys. Hopefully tomorrow by the end of our Week 3 game, this will be on the field. Big bloody dead bird. Angry Cardinal fans. You know how we do.
Pluck every feather.
You know it. And, might leave a couple retardinals there. Who knows? Look, we got to face this defense. We're going to talk about them here with my brother in a minute. They have their offense. I'm going to be real. They weren't scary before. They're less scary after I know about them more. And they're banged up. They're not in great shape. Like, as we're not in great shape either. Let's be real. But they're banged up. They will be fighting hard, though. This team is, when they're is a team that's like, to kind of finish off a team, it's really tough to do that. And when they're trying to desperately, me against the world mindset and, nothing to lose for this Cardinal team. So something we have to be aware of and got to put this team out, in my opinion, put this team out of their misery early so we can kind of coast and then rest our players in the second half as long as possible. So.
But yes, Double R, The Lunatic, Fuego, Stone Immaculate, Chalk Montana 808, Jason Renfro, Retro Scotty. We got Brandon Shea, Sad Cowboy Fan, Thomas Garrett, Cap 52, Brian Harper, Big Boss Man, Drums and Cowboys, Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett. Brandon Rogers. Yeah, okay, there. It's pretty good. I think we got most of the people. So, baby,
Let's
what does Dr.
guys
G
make sure
have to say?
make sure you guys comment in the chat if you have any thoughts. I mean, just chat within yourselves amongst us I'll be on there. The wife will be on there. We'll throw in our comments as well.
And Boogie, much love.
Don't go anywhere, guys. We got another 40 minutes to the finale of the show, and then we'll see you tomorrow for a game day, lights, camera, action right here. My Cowboys family will be on screen. We'll be repping the jerseys. We'll be repping that star for everything with you guys. Week 3 game against the Cardinals, and we must dominate them. We want to be out of that whole old ways of always making a game we should win by a lot, making it close and making it suffer, and maybe not winning. We got to get over that shit. We got to beat this team tomorrow and show them, not just beat them, not just 14-13. I'm talking about we got to beat them 41-0. How's them happen?
Yep, and we do have a 4 o'clock game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep,
right?
It's a 4:25 game.
4 Eastern. Let me clarify.
4:25 Eastern.
Adjust for your time zone.
Adjust your time zones. We'll be here. We'll be watching the game no matter what, guys, and streaming here our watch party, play-by-play, live reaction as we're doing this for 7 years straight. Guys, never forget here, the number one thing here now and forever on My Cowboys Family, as always, and never forget it. Go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you for dropping the knowledge. Keep dropping that knowledge during the end of this stream. Drop the love from above. If you guys want to, we'll shout you out, guys. Appreciate everybody. Can't wait for this game once again tomorrow. And as always, go Cowboys! What does my brother, Dr. G, have to say about these red birds? Take it away, Dr. G.
What's up? We're going to break down the Arizona Cardinal Dallas Cowboy game coming up this Sunday. And we have my brother in here, part of the family, the MCF family, but definitely not a Cowboy fan. He's an Arizona Cardinal fan. Dr. G, welcome to the show once again. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. And yourself?
Doing a lot better for the Trayvon Diggs injury here as a Cowboy fan. But we're loving our season. Our defense is dominant. And still will be even without Trayvon Diggs. But I want to hear about the Cardinals. We talked about them all week. Tomorrow's the game. So now I want to know what your thoughts are about your team and a little bit about this matchup as well. So let's break it down here. 2023 Arizona Cardinals. Not a very good start to the season, even though you guys were close or were in the lead. I think by halftime of both games against the Commanders and against the Giants last week. Blew that in the second half. Let me start off with your offense. I know Kyler Murray. He's gone for the first 4 weeks at least of the season. So quarterback position, obviously the leader of the team. You got Joshua Dobbs, formerly of the Tennessee Titans. That's when we played him last year in 2022. I think it was week 17 when we handled him, but he was running around a lot. You got backup Clayton Tune. Those are your quarterbacks right now. Of course, Dobbs will be starting in this game against the Cowboys. So what do you think about your Cardinal quarterback, Joshua Dobbs?
Well, the Cardinals did give up a 5th-round pick to bring him in literally just days before the season started. So it was not a surprise that against Washington that he didn't play very well. They didn't really call any plays that was going to challenge the defense. They did open it up more against the Giants, and in the first half he looked actually quite serviceable with his arm and with his legs. And it was night and day difference as he basically promised during the mid-season during the midweek press conferences. However, what I think concerned me more wasn't his accuracy, wasn't his decision making. It was the play calling in the second half. And I've had my own thoughts about this. I know there are a lot of Cardinals fans out there that are actively rooting for a winless season. I'm not one of them. I think that would be a humiliation that our team does not need to suffer. But it almost looked like they were scripting plays to lose in the second half against the Giants. And basically the last 3 possessions were just hand up the middle, two in a row, and then a 2-yard pass to the side and punt. And it was really quite disappointing, given the first half that he had, that we didn't let him continue to run the same kind of offense that was successful. That took us out to a 20-0 lead in the first half, and had things clicking even in the third quarter before we crawled into a shell. So I'm not sure how much of this was intentional, how much of this was the boss coming down in the locker room and basically threatening the coaching staff that they better not win the game. I really don't know what to make of it. It looked pretty suspicious, to say the least.
Well, again, I would say Joshua Dobbs, the thing about the Cowboys, I know that's Cowboys have many problems on defense other than this Trayvon Diggs unfortunate injury, but even with that, we have a lot of still starters. All our starters are basically still in the mix because Deron Bland moves up from the slot to the outside cornerback, and then we bring in Jordan Lewis, who was the starter last year before he got injured, which then let Deron Bland come out there as a 5th-round rookie last year and do a great job. I think he has the most interceptions since he was on that field playing last year in the NFL. So Deron Bland, you got to watch him, number 26. He'll be stepping up this week and have a larger role. But the problem, I think, with the Cowboy defense at most right now is maybe mobile quarterbacks. And even though we handled Zach Wilson last week, Dobbs is a mobile guy. He's going to use his legs, and we've had trouble with that. Although, again, we have our quarterback spy back on the team, our third safety, or we have three safeties we use all the time. Donovan Wilson, first game for the season for him, and he'll be keeping an eye on Joshua Dobbs. So mobility is going to be one of your X factors for your Cardinals to try to win this game from your quarterback, in my opinion. All right, so then. Speaking of the running game, let's talk about James Conner. To me, another one of your best players there on the offense that can maybe create something. I know a lot of that's going to come down to offensive line and blocking. We'll discuss that in a minute. But tell me a little bit about James Conner and how do you see them being used? I know that he's been overused, in my opinion, in the first two games already, on the ground and in the air. So what do you think?
I agree. I think that part of the struggles we saw in the second half against the Giants especially came from the fact that he was probably running out of steam at that point of the game. The plays just weren't very successful. Part of that's going to be the blocking, of course. But I think he's the kind of running back that you need 2 yards, he'll get you 2 yards. But, he's not going to have a lot of burst, a lot of speed downfield. And there were a couple of plays that, if he had better wheels, he probably would have scored on. Unfortunately for us, that's not something that we really expect to get out of him. He doesn't have a lot of that burst. But if we get a couple and help smooth the chains a few times, get us to a third and short position, something like that to help the drive stay alive. That's where he's most used. I will say that if he does have again, short yardage plays is something that the Cardinals historically have struggled with. He's actually been very reliable when it comes to those, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1 kind of plays that he can get you that yardage.
Interesting. No, it's good to know. Now, I heard some whispers about Keontae Ingram. Is that his name? A rookie you guys drafted?
Well, he's a second-year player. He's been very, very disappointing the last 2 games, and unfortunately, it's hard to tell how much of it, his carrying, or is it just a terrible offensive line. But it seems like he gets first contact 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he's not the kind of guy that's going to create something out of nothing like maybe James Conner would be able to do.
That's not sustainable
so
either.
Ingram has been completely a non-factor for us in these first 2 games, and then we have a guy named DeMarcado who played sparingly in preseason, had a nice carry to win the game against Denver, for what it's worth. But against the ones and twos of actual teams, he hasn't done anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to have to. The Cowboys have struggled in the run game in the past. This year, a lot better. So we'll see how that looks versus you guys. Now, as far as your receiving game, I'm going to start actually with tight ends because Zach Ertz is probably another weapon you have, although he's already on the older side of his career. You guys, I actually highlighted this week Trey McBride, your other tight end. He seems to do well when he catches the ball, when he's got his opportunities, which has been minimal. Jeff Swaim, he actually played for the Cowboys in the past, and Elijah Higgins, that's the tight ends. But Zach Ertz, obviously the starter. I suspect we'll have number 1 on our team, J-Ron Kearse, lock him down. We locked him down last time, even if you guys beat us. And he's been locked down even back to the Philly days. But whenever we've had J-Ron Kearse, now his 3rd year with the Cowboys, we have locked down pretty much all the best tight ends in the league because of J-Ron Kearse. So that's my matchup there. I think J-Ron Kearse wins that against Zach Ertz. But I know he's one of the favorite targets for your quarterback, Joshua Dobbs. So give me a little info on your Cardinals at the tight end position.
So for the first 2 games, well, at least for the first game against Washington, I think he only threw one pass more than 6 yards farther than 6 yards downfield. So they did open things up a little bit more in the second game, and that may just have been with his unfamiliarity with the roster and with his teammates. But we did still in the second game utilize tight ends probably more so, quite a bit more than even our receivers. So backs and tight ends are the ones who are the biggest threat in catching the ball. But Zach Ertz is not known for his breakaway speed. So if he's the kind of guy that might get you a 7-yard gain, move the chains type of deal again, but not a guy that's going to be an explosive threat. But
not like he used to be for sure. Ertz.
Definitely not. Certainly not in our offense. McBride Trey McBride is probably more in that mold that he's going to be more of a deeper threat than Ertz would be, and McBride can maybe get some more yards after the catch. But for what he's worth, he's still a tight end. The other 2 guys, Swaim played very sparingly in the preseason. Maybe 1 or 2 series, didn't make any impact. He's more of a blocking tight end, is my understanding, from what little I've seen. And then Higgins was a guy we picked up from the waiver wire, so I don't even know if he's even suited up for any of the games yet.
So now, again, more passing targets for you guys. The receivers. Now, of course, no Trayvon Diggs to help lock down the receivers. We do have Stephon Gilmore, Deron Bland, Jordan Lewis. So we're still pretty damn good as far as coverage is concerned. But you guys have, of course, you guys brought in Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, formerly of the Ravens. You guys have drafted Michael Wilson, who I believe was one of my actually hopes for the Cowboys to draft. He runs great routes, but I know he's still a rookie, obviously, right? I think, was he third round? And then Rondell Moore, who's your slot receiver, who's been kind of underperforming. Tell me more about them. And I guess the backups, I know Dortch is your kick returner, punt returner guy. And, you have, Zach Pascal and a couple. I don't need to know about those guys. Just the starters, those starting three. That's your main targets. Give me the wrap-up on them.
I'll tell you, there's probably not any real significance between those five guys. Dortch has gotten very little playtime in the offense. He's been mostly a special teams guy, but in the past season, he's been probably our most reliable receiver catching the ball downfield, which a lot of Cardinals fans have been very surprised that he hasn't been used more in the offense. Because yes, I get it. He was an undrafted guy. He was not anybody that you think would make an impact, but has been probably the most dependable guy from last season. Now, that being said, he's tiny. And we have a lot of very small receivers, and that's been our issue even last season. Outside of Hopkins from last year, we had a bunch of guys that were probably 5'9". These guys are not very big, powerful guys. And I think the new coaching staff really wants to utilize these more physical receivers, more like a Larry Fitzgerald type. Well, it turns out that Hollywood Brown is also very small. I mentioned Dortch is very small. And so when a lot of our offense is based on downfield, get these receivers to go out down there and start throwing blocks, these guys may not see a lot of playing time. So my guess is probably why Dortch hasn't been on the offense, is mainly because of that. Wilson has played sparingly, had a couple of nice catches in his first couple of games, but not really a game breaker yet that we've seen. Again, he's young. He's a rookie. We'll see what he does. Zach Pascal was brought in. Again, played very little in the exhibition and hasn't really had a chance to do much. Again, we haven't really challenged the defenses downfield very much. And so perhaps these guys are due for a breakout game. We just haven't seen it yet. So again, it's hard for me to judge their ability because we really haven't tried it.
Rondell Moore, anything with him?
So Rondell Moore, let's just say he was the favorite of the previous regime, where they always kind of swing passes, these little behind the line of scrimmage passes, little bubble screens, and that stuff has been a disaster. That's why the former coaching staff is the former coaching staff. And unfortunately, he really hasn't shown up this season. And that's true in training camp. There were whispers, nothing really being said about him. Exhibition games, he did very little. And in the two games, he's been a complete non-factor. So a massive disappointment. May still be a little bit banged up. And again, another smaller receiver that is not going to be able to contend with any kind of physical play.
Now, all of this you said about taking shots downfield. I know you're saying about a breakout game, but you're forgetting you're playing the Dallas Cowboy defense, and I say that because the offensive line is the key, I think, to any team to try to slow us down. And again, I said about the run game, you guys have to block for James Conner and whoever else you throw back there. And as far as the receiving game, you want to hit it downfield, you're not going to have time. Cowboys are the fastest. We got 4 guys in the top 10 in pressures. We have the fastest time to get to the quarterback. We've played probably better offensive lines than you guys, although it's close. Because again, I don't even know how to pronounce your center's name. He looks like he's Swedish or something. Hajlet Forholt. Elijah Wilkinson, left guard. Will Hernandez, I don't know if he's playing. He's the right guard. DJ Humphreys is the left tackle. And the right tackle, Paris Johnson Jr. I know you have Kelvin Beachum coming back from a hand injury. He's probably your best guy out there. Well, give me just a quick synopsis of your offensive line: run blocking, pass blocking, because you're going to need your best game of all these guys in their history to contend against our Cowboy defensive pass rush.
So I think our offensive line, for all the weaknesses of the Cardinal team, is actually not that terrible. I think Frøyholt, I think that's how it's pronounced. He's actually Danish, I think. He was an off-season pickup that a lot of fans were really down on, but he's actually been probably our best performer and a very pleasant surprise for our team so far. Meanwhile, Will Hernandez in the right guard has been solid. Nothing really negative to say about him. Our two starting tackles, have been quite good. DJ Humphreys has been slow in his career, kind of getting to this point, but he's probably one of the above average left tackles out there in the game right now, and at least in the NFC. And then on the right side, we have the rookie first round pick, Paris Johnson Jr., who has not looked like a rookie. So, I think those 4 guys have been quite solid. The problem is the left guard, Wilkerson, who has been below average in his performances thus far, and unfortunately for us, in our last preseason game against the Vikings, we lost our backup center and our backup guard to injuries for the season, gone. And then even Beecham now has gotten injured, so our backup tackle has been nicked up a little bit. He's presumably he'll be available for this game. But we are pulling up practice squad guys as backups. I think if those 5 guys, with Wilkerson being the weakest of the link, the 5 starters can stay healthy, that might give us a little bit of a shot. Now, the issue, I think, for our offense, and maybe we can kind of touch on this again at the end as a synopsis, but I think, our offense has not relied on the big vertical game. So far, at least from the play designs that we've had, we haven't really needed to give the quarterback, 6 seconds to backdate or scramble around and find an open receiver. Our passing game has been mainly on short passes, short plays, 7 to 10 yards, no more than that. So if that's clicking, then maybe the Dallas pass rush isn't going to be as much of an impact. But then again, we haven't seen a defense like yours this season.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to say that the Cowboys run similar plays as your Cardinals run there, in the sense that we call it Texas Coast offense. It's a Kellen Moore's plays, but it's got to be quicker. And I think that's because of our offensive line depth issues. McCarthy's been practicing and getting ready for this. So look, our defense is going to be practicing against quick passes the whole week. We've been doing this. So to me, I think that we'll be ready for that short game, that quick game. And Cowboys are very, very fast. Again, like you said, yes, that's true. If you get the ball out fast, you got a shot. But you know who tried that? The Jets last week. And they couldn't get anything going. So I'm just saying, we'll see if you guys can do it. I just think that the Jets tried and they failed miserably. And I don't know if you guys are set up to handle that. But again, we got to stop. I think if we stop the run, if we stop your run, I think it's over. I mean, forcing you guys that we know you're going to pass every time. It's just you guys are going to have 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, almost every play at best. So, you better have, and again, against good coverage, very good coverage, even with Trayvon Diggs gone. So I think it's going to be a problem for you guys, and that's when the turnovers and other issues could come into play. I know maybe you haven't been the worst. I don't know how you guys been on turnovers, but offensively, we will definitely be able to cause them and create turnovers on your side, fumbles, interceptions, whatever it may be.
The only 2 turnovers we had were week 1 against Washington. One was a strip sack fumble by Dobbs that basically gave up the lead in the fourth quarter. And in the following drive, we had a bad exchange from center, also Josh Dobbs fumbling the ball, which set up the Commanders for the final field goal, which put them up by 4. He hasn't thrown any interceptions. He did have 1 pick last week that was negated by an interference goal, but the defensive holding, that was what caused the interception. He basically held the tight end and couldn't get. The guy there was no offensive player in the vicinity. The ball was picked, but no, we've actually been pretty decent with possession. However, again, we haven't really been challenging defenses vertically, and so a lot of safe, very conservative play calling.
So let's now jump onto the defensive side of the ball for you guys versus our Texas Coast offense. Of course, we're going to start with the defensive line for you guys. And listen, you guys have Carlos Watkins. We know Carlos Watkins is from Dallas, and he's out for this game. So we don't know who the rest of the guys are. Leaky Fotu is the nose tackle. He's banged up. He's questionable for the game. And then I have Jonathan Ledbetter as your other guy here on the defensive front. I'm assuming Dante Stills or Kevin Strong, one of those guys, will jump in there for Carlos Watkins. How you feel about your defensive front? I know you guys run a 3-4, so we'll talk about Dennis Gardeck, who I think is also playing on that line. Zaven Collins, with the as the outside linebackers, but in a 3-4, usually you can have them as an edge rusher. So give me a synopsis on that side of the trench.
So that's been the biggest complaint by a lot of the fans going into the season, that we have these no-name guys on the defensive line. And they're not wrong. We really don't have any stars on the defense. But the only name player probably is Buda Baker back in the defensive backfield, and he's on IR. So it's a defensive team that is a bunch of nobodies, basically, guys off the street. But that's maybe where Jonathan Gannon's got these guys playing best, is that he takes these guys that aren't big names and he gets them to work together as a unit. And the first couple of weeks, the defensive front actually looked halfway decent, despite having nobody of any real reputation on there. And the difficulty that we ran into against the Giants, I think, in the second half, was that we started losing guys to injury during the game. And with these guys coming out, we lost the rotation. So there's not any one guy that really gets the starting job over the other. They're all pretty much interchangeable. And that's where I think we lost that depth. And without that depth, we really fell apart. We got no pressure on the Giants quarterback in the second half. I think Lucky Fotu has been a mediocre player all his career. He's been on the Cardinals team now for several years. Dante Stills is a rookie who made a couple of mistakes last week. I think he got flagged for a late hit. That was a critical turning point for our defense. Also, Strong, who I was never that impressed with in preseason, got the job over Rashard Lawrence, who I thought was the better player, who gets cut. Now, with all the struggles we've been having on the defensive front, in terms of injuries, I'm surprised we haven't picked up Lawrence. He's actually on, I think, the Dolphins practice squad. And he's the guy who knows defense. He'd be an obvious pickup for the Cardinals, but at least as of right now, they haven't made a move to sign him to the active roster. And I'm a little bit surprised, because I thought he was the better player compared to Strong. I thought he should have made the roster. And he's been on the team for a couple of years, so he knows his teammates. They kind of know him. But those are the main guys on the front there, on the defensive line.
I want to jump in here because I want to talk about your edge rushers, specifically.
We'll get to those.
Dennis Gardeck.
Yeah, so,
I mean, Dennis Gardeck and Zayvon Collins, aren't these two guys pretty good? They're pretty solid, aren't they?
Again, I think they're just random guys that happen to play well as a team. So Gardeck was injured 2 years ago, late in the season, having a great year, used very sparingly. But whenever he made a play, whenever he was in the game, he made an impact. And it was like, wait, you got 9 snaps and 3 sacks. It's like, wait, this guy's well performing above where you would expect for the amount of playing time he's been getting. So there's a lot of hope for him. And then he gets injured, gets carted off the field. And then when he came back last season, he was a mere shell of his old self. And we were like, well, there goes the Cardinals again, paying this guy all this money for a guy that's a scrub now. And he was a scrub before, he was a scrub then. However, this season, he's actually played a lot better. And so maybe he just needed some more time to heal from his injury. I don't know. But he's not a household name. He's had a few disruptive plays that against Washington that scored the touchdown. He forced the fumble that got us the defensive touchdown. Another guy there is Cameron Thomas, third year player, I think, for the Cardinals, who is also getting more playing time as an edge rusher. A rookie we picked up this year was B.J. Ojulari, who was injured most of training camp, most of preseason, but they get a little bit of playing time, just kind of working him in slowly. And then Zayvon Collins, who's been moved out basically from the inside linebacker position as to the edge rusher, has had a couple of nice plays. But these are not superstars by any stretch of the imagination. We need to just keep them in there, get some pass pressure, keep them with the edge contained. And again, as a unit, they've been playing well. But it's not like I can point to one guy and say that's the difference maker. There really isn't. And in a way, that might be an advantage to us because there's no one guy you got a key on because there really isn't a star. But if they all work together and they all do their job, they might, as a unit, have some success.
Yeah, I actually, looking at my work for this week on your Cardinals, Dennis Gardeck and Victor
Demukage.
Yeah, they have come, but he has Gardeck has 3 sacks and Demukage has 2 sacks. So they got to keep an eye on those guys as far as I'm concerned on the outside, along with Zayvon Collins, who again I think is better on the outside as a rusher than an inside linebacker. And inside linebacker is going to talk about that too because Kazir White, formerly of the Eagles, and Josh Woods, I know he is out for this game. So you're going to have Kazir White. You're going to have Chris Barnes have to step up. And there, I think he's also one of your free agents you picked up this year. Owen Papo and Ezekiel Turner, don't even care about them. I don't know how much rotation they get in the mix there. So, again, you talk about rotation on the defensive front. The Cowboys do a lot of that as well. I understand what you're saying when it comes to Dan Quinn. It's vital. We have our 3rd and 4th stringers sometimes because there is a rotation that Dan Quinn uses. So when it comes to the linebacker spot for you guys, how do you feel about your linebackers? To me, it's a little bit of the, like you said, non-household names, the guys that are kind of put together from free agency.
So Kazir White was the main guy we brought in. Again, knows the Philadelphia defense because he knows the coaching staff. So that was the guy that was, I think, the one big, if you call it a big pickup. The Cardinals have been very stingy this offseason. Basically, again, trying to work toward the following year. We know that that this season is not going to be a successful season, and so this is the one guy, the one piece that might be there for a few years to kind of blossom hopefully as the season goes on. Because you're White, he should be healthy, he should be in the game. He's the guy with green dot, so he should be the main play caller on defense. And then the other 2 guys, I would say Barnes and Woods were kind of interchangeable. Like neither one really stood out in the games that I've seen. Whereas Woods is out, so that is a blow. But again, not like he's irreplaceable. I think Barnes is just as good. He steps up. Zeke Turner on the defensive side. He's been with the Cardinals now for a number of years. Plays a lot of special teams, but has made some plays over his tenure with the Cardinals in that inside linebacker position. So he's not exactly what I call a scrub. I think he's actually halfway decent. Owen Papo is a rookie who looked terrible in preseason, and he may not even be active for the game. So I think he's a non-factor. I'm not sure who else we would get to that rotation because we're very, very thin.
I don't see anybody else on your roster and depth chart.
Probably may have brought the guy in.
Yeah, you probably have to elevate someone from the practice squad.
Exactly.
So to finalize things in your secondary, and maybe a quick touch up on the special teams, but on your secondary cornerbacks, again. Well, let me just start with the secondary. Buda Baker gone. That's obviously a huge, huge loss. I know how much of a problem it was when you guys played us the last couple of times, so it's a major loss. I wish you guys were at full strength so we can get tested. But, Buda Baker, big loss. We know he's out for at least 4 weeks, but it's going to probably be longer than that. So you had out in your secondary, you had a cornerback, K'Trell Clark. I think he's a rookie. You got Marco Wilson on the other side of him, Antonio Hamilton Sr., which I've heard of him, and Christian Matthew. A couple of Christian Boyd and Sterling Thomas. I'm sure those guys are not really in the rotation. So, which are your main cornerbacks you're going to be using in this game? I'd say your outside two and your nickel cornerback.
Well, that's anyone's guess. I tell you that this is the position of our team that was the most desperate for any kind of playmaker. We really did not look good in preseason. I was trying to predict the guys who would make the roster, and aside from the top 4 guys, basically the 4 starters, there was nobody that I thought was worth keeping. And they essentially dumped everybody and brought in a few waiver wire guys that I still know very little about. I will tell you that. The starting corners are going to probably be Marco Wilson, who had a terrible second half against the Giants, and probably himself single-handedly cost us that game. The Giants, I don't think they threw anything.
So attack him is what you're saying. Attack him.
Yes, I think that's going to be. He has had decent games throughout his career. I'm not sure if there's anything particular about last week's game that was challenging for him specifically. You may remember him as the guy for the Florida Gators who threw his shoe against LSU and cost him the game way back when. Well, here he is in the pros now and making mental mistakes, cost us the game against the Giants. One of the goats of that game. However, he's going up
against CeeDee Lamb this time, so keep that in mind as well. It's going to be a lot tougher. And again, you got Michael Gallup or Brandon Cooks. He's going to be back in this game, and you have K'Trell Clark.
Yeah, so K'Trell Clark is a rookie, I think a 6th-round pick, and has actually played well in the exhibition and has looked good in his first 2 games. He has not looked like a rookie. So, he's going to make mistakes. I expect that. Again, this is a season that we're not going to win very many games. I'd be happy if we go 1-16, to be honest. That we're that legitimately that bad. And a guy like K'Trell Clark, who gets a lot of playing time, maybe this is the start of something. He makes himself a career out of it. But he's basically our second starter in the cornerback position. And again, this is an inexperienced player who hasn't looked bad, hasn't really been targeted, but that usually means he's covering his guy. So he's played well above his draft status, and let's just see how long he can keep it up. After him, see what other corners we got there. Chris Matthews is absolute. I think it's his name, Christian Matthews. Yeah, he's terrible. Should not have made the roster, but we had nobody else behind him. We had any bit of a serviceable reserves, he would have been cut. And then we have a couple of guys we picked up off the street that I couldn't tell you very much about in terms of the cornerback spot. In terms of safety, of course, we have Buda Baker, who's out. We have other guys that have come. Actually, Kayvon Wallace was picked up as a waiver wire guy, who's looked phenomenal, especially against Washington. So he's a guy that we expected nothing from, and has actually played quite well.
He's your starter along with Jalen Thompson.
Yeah, well, Jalen Thompson, he's been a very solid player for the couple of years now that he's been on the team. I think he is somebody who I would rely on. He had, I believe, an interception against the Giants on a deflected ball. But I think, so Jalen Thompson and Buda Baker are good starters. Of course, no Buda Baker. That means Kayvon Wallace will get a lot more playing time, and I do like what I've seen in him so far. After that, looking at the other defensive backs we've got, there's a guy named Shasheri who was absolute trash and was absolute trash in preseason games, and somehow made the roster and has been elevated to get more playing time, which is a guy, if he's on the field, by all means, you need to target him because he is a terrible, terrible player. Meanwhile, we also had There was Hamilton. Hamilton was that. He's the guy that last season burnt himself in a freak cooking accident, like a week before the season began.
I remember him.
This third-degree burns down his leg. It was a pretty hideous-looking injury.
It was on the Hard Knocks show, I think, and they followed him around when he burned himself. He melted the skin off his foot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's back now. But I'm not sure he's gotten a lot of playing time. I'm not sure what's going on there. But he hasn't made any glaring mistakes for what I've noticed, at least these first couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, do you have anybody who's playing the nickel, the slot corner?
Your guess is as good as mine.
That's dangerous.
Chris Boyd might be in there.
Boyd. I'm just saying, like, that means, CeeDee Lamb plays like 60, 70, 80% sometimes in the slot. That's going to be key.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm not sure how the Cardinals are going to handle that. They're going to move guys around, some smoke and mirrors, and hope that Gannon's, I know if his defensive coaching is any good, this is the time for him to make his money, because we really are playing with a patchwork defensive backfield, and
This might be the game the Cowboys do some play action and go a little deeper than they have. The Cowboys have not been going in deep passes. Been very effective and efficient, though, with Dak, and kind of picking and choosing what the defense gives you. But now, if you guys kind of make one bad move in the safety spot, we will attack that. And I'm looking for Dak to kind of attack, but also see it's us able to run the ball. So it's going to be an interesting battle there. I mean, I don't know what you guys are good at on defense, but I know that we are solid across the board on offense, efficient. Passing, could be better at running for sure, but one of the more, I think, a top 10 efficient offense in the NFL. So it's going to be tough for your Cardinals for sure.
We've been successful with stopping the running game. I think that's something that not many of our fans had expected, and actually did a fairly decent job with that, and getting some pressure on the quarterback. But obviously, if we give the quarterback any kind of time back there, that this defensive backfield is not going to be able to.
Dak's got the same scheme. Dak's got the same scheme as your guys. He's going to get the ball out in 2 seconds, and occasionally, if there's extra, if there's time and there's another option, he might go deep. But I also think that running the ball, the Giants and the Washington Commanders have overall not very good offensive lines. You guys, we have all 5 of our offensive linemen expected to play tomorrow against the Cardinals. So, first time all year we have them. Maybe the first time I think McCarthy's had 5 offensive linemen that are supposed to be the starters playing. I think maybe 4 times in his whole career he's had this with the Cowboys here, entering his 4th year with Dallas. So we're going to have our best offensive linemen out there. I think we're a top 5, top 10 easily offensive line group when they're all healthy, finally healthy. This could be trouble for the Cardinals, even if you've been good at stopping the run in recent weeks here this season.
No, I agree. I think, the only way I see our defense holding the Cowboys into a manageable score would be to get some turnovers, bad balls, things like that, the line of scrimmage, and then, of course, the Cowboys have to shoot themselves in the foot. I think if the Cowboys don't make mistakes, there's almost no chance the Cardinals are going to win this game. Yeah, we're not going to win it in a shootout.
We probably have to make a lot of mistakes as well. Yeah, a lot of, not just one mistake. Pick 6 for you guys.
I said mistakes, plural.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I need to make mistakes.
Anything on the special team side? I know Matt Prater's really good. Cooney has got similar distance as far as Anger has so far. Punting. I know you talked about Dortch, your returner. So any really quick things on that before we get to your final prediction?
Yeah, so Matt Prater, he's about 100 years old right now, but he still has the leg. He still has the distance. So, for example, against the Giants in the final seconds, we got the ball back. We're really trying to target the midfield. If we got to the midfield stripe, he probably would have attempted a 68-yarder. You know what? He's probably made him in practice. I think he has the leg. Against Washington in the rain at sea level, he made a 55-yarder that hit the top of the back of the net. So I think strength, on field goals, I think he certainly has the ability to make far long kicks, but he has his obligatory single miss every week. He'll make some inaccuracy, he'll miss it, and the fans will get on him for that. But I think though he's up there in years, at least we have a guy that if we need a long kick at the end of the game, I think he's a guy that can do it.
It sounds like it sounds like you get most points from him against the Cowboys if you get any points. But all right. And punting,
I agree.
Punt returns,
punting. Cooney is new. He replaces Andy Lee, who was a longtime player for the Cardinals. Cooney's actually had pretty decent kicks, and certainly has been able to, except for one bad attempt against Washington, has been quite solid with good booming kicks that doesn't outtake his coverage. So no, I think that's he's been all we can really ask for. And of course, probably more important for that is his job holding for the kicker. I think that's been our biggest concern, but he's been doing a good job with that. As far as kick return, punt return, we really haven't shown much. As you know, with the kicking game nowadays, kick return, you're not going to see very many returns unless it's a last-second desperate type of a situation. Most of them go to touchbacks. Punt return, we had a couple nice ones against Washington, but nothing to really write home about. I think Dortch. I'm not sure who else we throw back there. Really, nothing terribly explosive that we've seen.
Well, I mean, great breakdown. A good look at the team, the Cardinal players, the kind of I won't say we didn't get deep in schematics, but we got pretty much what you guys do on offense, how you guys play on defense, and your weaknesses, your strengths. Good breakdown. But now I must ask you the final question of our little interview here. Your prediction and final score for this game. How do you think things will work out? And I guess I know you hope the Cardinals win, but there's really not a chance, I think. So what's your prediction and thoughts about this game as we wrap it up?
Well, do be careful about saying there's not a chance. I think the last time Mike McCarthy played a Cardinal team that didn't have a chance, it cost him his job in Green Bay. So I've seen some pretty bad Cardinal teams. I've seen the Cardinal team go into Green Bay and win for the first time ever at Lambeau, and for the first time ever in Green Bay since 1947. And that was probably a worse Cardinal team that we're dealing with now. Although we'll see what the records end up at the end of the season. I do think this is a much better Dallas team than Green Bay had back then, and that's the one thing that all the media hype the Cowboys get, and many times undeserved. I think this year it is deserved, and Dallas is by far the superior team in this game. And I see the Cardinals losing by a score of 38-6, and that's maybe being generous for the Cardinals with the 6. I don't think there's going to be much of a competition here. Again, it's going to take mind-numbing mistakes by the Cowboys to really keep us in the game. And maybe, just maybe, we play a lot of possession, control the clock, short passes, keep the Cowboys a little bit off balance on defense, and maybe, get a couple of, scores here and there. We might be able to hang for a bit. I mean, even as bad as the Jets played, I correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the halftime score was still within reach. It wasn't until really the second half.
Yeah, they have a good defense. They have a good defense, but again, they have a great defense, and we still put up 18 points in the first half on them. All offensive points, by the way, not with defensive help. So just saying that that's big for the Cowboys to have 18 points in the Jets' defense, in my opinion. We'll see how the Cardinals' defense handles our offense. And, of course, have they seen a defense like ours, you guys? No, definitely not.
Well, I don't think there are many defenses in the league like the Cowboys, so I think that's a fair statement. We aren't going to see any very many more like them down the stretch. Well, we do have the Niners the following week, but I think the Cardinals. Just again, I do worry that they are out there to tank the season, without saying it. But my goal at this point, if you could have guaranteed me to go 1-16, I'll take it rather than look at chips fall where they may, because I'm truly afraid that they are bad enough to go winless. But we do play some bad teams. You get the Texans, the Bears, the Browns, the Steelers. None of them are world beaters.
Yeah,
the Falcons,
those
the
Texans,
Wings are undefeated. But
those Eastside Harold Texans.
This is I don't know, it's there are a lot of bad teams out there, but I think our scores are a bit misleading. I think you're going to see that Washington and the New York Giants are going to be some of the bottom teams this league. I don't think Washington is going to be any good, and I think the Giants are going to be a losing record by the time all is said and done. So I can't take much solace out of the fact that we almost won those games. Those are bad teams that we lost to, and we're going to start playing some good teams. These scores get out of hand.
This week, next week against the Niners. These are the best teams now in the NFC. So, good luck. Although, I'm talking crap because, we're talking shit to each other here because it's the Cowboys-Cardinals. You guys want to beat us, I think, 6 straight times here before this. So
6 out of 7.
Yeah, F you.
We did lose, and I believe in 2017, we did lose in a Monday Night Football game, but we did win the other 6 of the last 7, and some of them were absolute epic beatdowns.
Yeah, whatever.
Love it.
That's why I talk shit, and that's why there's no way we can lose with this Trayvon Diggs situation. Unfortunately, maybe refocus the Cowboys, but then after yesterday's trash talk from media outlets and some people on ESPN, Bart Scott, talking about, bad things happen to the Cowboys. It's like, the Cowboys got mad about this, and they are, kind of coming together even closer as a team. And unfortunately, I think your offense, Joshua Dobbs, is going to take the brunt of the beating. We'll see what happens, man. And again, I said 30-0 in the first when it opened up in the week, and now I was thinking 40 or more to nothing. Anyways, we'll see what happens.
Dr. G. I appreciate you here hanging with me and the wife and the family here as we hear your breakdown. And we'll see what happens tomorrow against the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona with our Dallas Cowboy Big D and Texas Coast offense. Anything else you want to say before we say goodnight?
Oh, of course, the obligatory Go Cardinals.
All right. Thanks, Dr. G. Take care, and we'll talk after the game tomorrow. Go Cowboys!